Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
All right, we're already recording this. Let's go, Matt Rife.
Do it.
Let's
start
cracking,
off the
baby.
show.
Are you still in LA right now?
Technically, yeah.
Technically, but you're
I'm home
the road,
3 days
right?
a week, or 3 days a month, maybe.
You're just constantly touring.
Yeah, it's a dream come true, man. Careful what you wish for. But long time coming, you know.
Well, I don't know. It's not careful what you wish for. It's just you just have to learn how to manage this new thing now. It's great though. It's not careful. It's fucking awesome. It's so much better than it not working out for you.
Oh, absolutely. No, if I could sleep like a normal human being, I think I'd be just fine.
Yeah, you were just talking about that. You have serious insomnia. Yeah. Have you done anything to try to mitigate that? Have you taken melatonin? Have you tried any herbal? Have you done all that stuff?
I've OD'd on melatonin, dude. I've taken 30 milligrams in a night, and you know you build up a tolerance to melatonin.
Yeah.
And you have to stop using it for a little while. I mean, I do have to smoke like every single night to even have a chance of falling asleep.
Wow. So you just like get some of that Be Real indica, some of that Cypress Hill shit.
Dude, until I just am just deformed in bed.
And that puts you out?
Not really. No,
Wow.
dude, it's insane. I can stay awake on Xanax and everything. It's almost like
interesting.
if you picture a light switch to turn your brain off, I just can't. It's
Your
like
switch doesn't work.
No, and I think it's like, after thinking about it for years, I think it's the same mechanism in my brain that like allows me to think quickly on stage, that keeps my brain up at night. Like I just think about anything. It's not even anxiety. It's just anything.
It's just frantic thoughts just bouncing around your head.
Yeah, anything from middle school memories to like, man, it's crazy how leaves are green and then brown sometimes. Like it's just fucking anything. My dick is like, please don't beat me again. Like I've tried everything.
Everything.
I promise.
Wow.
I know. It sucks because obviously, I mean, sleep for as much as I work out, like your muscles don't get that time to recover, which means they can't build.
Well, and your brain doesn't get that time to recover.
Oh, yeah.
Your immune system suffers. Everything suffers when you don't sleep. I've made like a really conscious effort over the last year to get a lot of sleep, and I've fucked it up quite a few times with the club. Because there's been times with the club where like at least 3 nights a week when I'm performing, you know, I'm out till 2 o'clock in the morning. And generally I wake up around 8 to start working out. And at 8, it's like 6 hours. It's not quite enough.
Yeah.
Like it's not even 6 hours. It's like 5.5. And, you know, I feel tired. I look tired. And I just don't have as much juice. And then when I adjust and then get proper sleep again, it's all of a sudden it's like, whoop. Like I feel like everything turns up to 10 again. It's fascinating. Like I feel a big difference, like physically feel a big difference. Like if sleep was a supplement, if I could take a sleep supplement and it gives you that feeling you get when you're like fully rested, oh my God, you're just better. You're better. Everything works better. Your brain works better. You can physically do more. Everything works better.
I've heard.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
I don't think I've even been in a REM sleep in 5 years, dude.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
It's
you'd be
not
dead.
good. I
You'd be
feel dead, dude.
But you're not. You feel alive.
I've stayed awake for 9 straight days before.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even think that's possible.
I think the world record is like 11 or 13. Because I looked into it because I genuinely started to get like fearful for my own health.
Jesus Christ.
Do you agree with needing 8 hours? Because I've heard so many different theories.
I don't think everybody needs 8 hours. I just know I do. There's no way I could know what's going on in other people's bodies.
You think it's case by case?
Yeah, I think it's like everything with biology. Biology varies so much by genetics and life experiences. And you know, like what have you done leading up? Have you just been sedentary your whole life, or you've been very active? Is your body very fit, or is your body like riddled with problems? Like there's so many, and they're just genetics, man. They vary so much. Some people are, you know, they have no problem with 5 hours sleep.
And it changes over time as well, doesn't it? Like, didn't people evolve from sleeping in like 4-hour increments or something like that?
I mean, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they didn't get a chance to just fucking chill. You know, they were getting eaten by cats.
Yeah.
You know, that's the rub on people. It's like we still have these genetics that are from 10,000, 15,000 years ago when life was very different. And those are still the same genetics. And that's
Yeah.
why we're still looking for like tribal leaders and shit. We're looking for like
Yeah.
a president, a prime minister. We're looking for like one person
Oh
still.
yeah, leaders used to fight in wars, dude.
Yes. And that was how we sort of figured out what to do. We went to the person who had experienced the most, not the person who's been paid off the most.
Yeah.
Not the person who's like got the fucking shadiest insider dealings with the party that has the most influence.
Oh, I know.
God damn it.
I'm
Like,
so happy I take zero part in any politics whatsoever.
Good for
I'm
you.
the least politically informed person you'll probably ever meet. And I know I'm taking pride in naivety, but
well, for your own self-preservation, that's probably a good idea. I've always said that like voting and like politics in this country is a lot like rooting on pro wrestling.
damn,
It might make you feel better, but I'm not sure how much it affects the outcome.
that's a very good point.
It seems like at the very end of the day, the same people are getting all the money.
Yeah.
And don't think about it in terms of whether or not you can vote in your party. You most certainly can. And don't think about it. They most certainly can enact social change, and they can do some good things, and especially in relationship with the Supreme Court and a lot of other things. But at the end of the day, the real people that are running the show are the people that are getting these massive defense contracts, and massive pharmaceutical contracts, like the billions and trillions of dollars that's being generated by various industries. That's what's running the show. That's what's running the show.
Man, you're speaking Mandarin Chinese
Yeah.
right now.
It's not that fucking old dude that keeps getting tripped by ghosts. He's not your leader.
Are you a big ghost guy?
I believe it's possible.
I'm
Are
obsessed.
You? Are you?
So really weird side hobby of mine. I go ghost hunting. I've been like around the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What have you experienced? Have you ever had like an absolute moment when you're like, oh my God, I'm in the presence of a poltergeist?
Still not 1,000%. I've definitely witnessed things that I cannot for the life of me explain that have creeped me out. The timing has been impeccable. I've seen things move that there's just no fucking way that they've moved. I've gotten answers back on EVPs, but for me, it is one of those things I do need to see it.
Isn't an EVP like a radio though?
No, EVP is just a recorder.
It's a record. What's that radio thing? I'm sorry then. What is the one where they like listen?
There's
My-
a bunch
my
of different
daughter-
names.
My daughter's heavily into this shit.
What does she watch?
Heavily. Sam and Colby.
You had them on, right?
Yes.
So
Great guys.
So I met these other guys. There's another channel called the Overnight Channel who are equally as popular as Sam and Colby, and they actually used to work together. And I believe they split off and each do their own thing. But that's who I started going with. So I'm very familiar with those guys.
So these kids, the Sam and Colby guys just went into the Conjuring house.
I was just there maybe a month and a half ago.
You went into the Conjuring house
by
too?
myself, Joe.
Okay. Do you believe that there's something going on in that house? The Conjuring movies are fucking great.
It's my favorite franchise.
They're fun, and
I'm
there's so many of them.
Oh, yeah.
They really did it right. Like if you want to be smart, they branched off with the Nun. They branched off with Annabelle.
And I love the way they tie in the story
Yeah.
for each one to make it all one chronological story. It's genius.
Yeah.
I will say I wasn't as scared as I've been in a lot of places we've been. There is some kind of solace to the house, but you get to know the history of it, and it does make sense that there would be something here. I mean, it's on some ley lines of water underground. There was wars fought there. There's apparently bodies buried on the property in the walls of the property structures and stuff. There's a lot of history that goes into it that just makes for kind of the perfect storm for some creepy shit. But I didn't witness anything that was that insane. Some items moved. Some cars rolled off of the children's dressers a couple of times on cue. And that's the one thing I do pride ourselves in these videos is so often we get absolutely nothing because we don't fake anything. So you only get to see the highlights. Like there's so many times we'll go to a place that is so notoriously haunted and we'll be there for 10 hours and get absolutely nothing. And it sucks. But that makes when something does happen that much more valuable. It's so much more impressive.
What do you think? So, do you think a ghost is like the soul of a person that's left behind, or do you think the ghost is almost like space and time because of a horrible incident contain a memory, and like that memory is almost like it like shows up in current time sometimes? There's a guy named Rupert Sheldrake. I forget what his field of study is, but he had this theory about things, and he believes that objects contain memories.
Oh, interesting.
And he's not the only one that has
Inanimate
this.
objects?
Yeah, that things contain memories. And this is one of the reasons why, like, people kind of universally support this idea that if someone was murdered in a house, you must inform the people that are about to buy it. You have to tell them, hey, somebody got murdered in this house. Like, maybe you don't want to buy this house.
Now,
Maybe you should think about it.
Does the potential owner have to ask that information?
It's a good question.
I'd want to know.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think they should have to inform you because there's something about someone being murdered in a spot that freaks us out. And this is my question. How you knew the conjured house was haunted, right? So you go there with this feeling and this expectation. That's what I always wonder about these things. Like how much of this isn't just imagining things. This is like the mind itself seems to have some unmeasured effect on the world.
Yeah.
I think the way you think has an unmeasured effect in terms of like this. There's energy that you put out. There's connections you make with people. They're very, very unmeasured.
And you can manifest your own perception of things for sure.
Yeah. So what my concern is like if you go into a place with a pre-existing knowledge of ghosts, like you think ghosts are here, you think ghosts are real, you have this thought in your mind that you maybe experience a ghost in this place that's haunted. You're at this elevated level of anticipation. You're probably really nervous and kind of freaked out, and your imagination starts firing up. And I'm not even saying that these people are lying or that they're seeing things that aren't there. I'm saying maybe you make things show up. Maybe you see memories. Maybe you experience some horrible energy that existed in this spot 50 years ago, 100 years ago, that there's like ways you can tune into that.
I could see that being possible, but to me, that's what's so exciting about it is like you go hoping for those solidified answers. You're going hoping to witness something that you couldn't have possibly made up.
But you know why I think that, too? Is like you never see them in the daytime. Ghosts don't exist on the street.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but not outside.
They're never outside. That's a very good point.
That's my point, is like you're always trapped. So you're always in this like weird space. Like if you had a wolf in your house, you'd be freaked out. You'd want to get outside.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want a wolf in the there's a fucking wolf in the house.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in a contained area, your brain has this heightened sense of like being trapped and awareness and how to escape. I mean, every horror movie's the same. When you got to get to the door, right? Everybody's trying to fumble with the keys and the monster's chasing them and they get it just in time, right? That is a reoccurring theme in the human mind. If you're trapped in a fucking house with a killer or a ghost or a wolf, it's scary.
You know where that makes the most sense? We did the USS Hornet up in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And we had the whole ship to ourselves, which I was so excited about because I love military stuff. I love history. I was so excited to go there and just witness it. And they sent me by myself on basically a game of hide and seek where I had to go find them in the ship somewhere after I had to count to 100 by myself. It was the most terrifying place I've ever been because if you've never been in like the bowel of a ship, it's so unfamiliar. Like doorways don't look the same. You know, you have to step over them and everything. There's so many pipes and everything sticking out. It's such an unfamiliar environment, especially in the dark. It's terrifying. You think I can't possibly run away from something in here. There's too many obstacles. You don't know if that's a wall or a pipe or something peeking around to like look at you. It's fucking terrifying because of exactly that. You feel so trapped.
That totally makes sense. And I would imagine also the feeling of being underwater. That's an extra freak out.
I didn't think about that, but now I have anxiety about it.
I mean, you're
Thanks a
literally,
lot.
if you're deep enough in the ship, you're under the water.
That's a very good point.
And somehow metal floats? What the fuck?
I don't understand it whatsoever. I just don't get it. Because of the shape? What?
Yeah, that to me has always been like, what?
Yeah, like a rock that size would fucking sink, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm too stupid to
Physics
figure out
are
boats.
so confusing.
I mean, I get a fiberglass boat. That makes sense. But they didn't have fiberglass. I get a wood boat. That makes sense. But a
giant
fucking
ships?
One of those battleships. Imagine if they had to make battleships out of wood.
Dude.
That was like we have battleships, but they have to be out of wood.
Fuck. Yeah, let's go back to having to fight with swords while we're at it as well.
Do you ever do Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland?
I've been one time, and it's fucking terrifying.
No,
dude.
Are you scared of everything?
I'm scared. No, I'm scared. I'm afraid of no living things. Apparently,
Really?
okay. Not apparently not. No, the ride scares me because I can only imagine if I was the only person in there and you see those fucking animated figures in there by themselves. That to me is like a perfect scary movie. It's so creepy.
Right, like one of them would come alive.
Yeah.
But what I was getting to is there's a scene when you're going down the river in the raft where these two ships are shooting at each other with cannonballs. And it makes you think about what the fuck that would have been like living back then.
Oh, you had to be a man.
You're on a wooden thing floating around the ocean, and you're both shooting things that make holes in the woods to sink them.
Yup.
And you're out in the middle of the ocean.
Which would you rather had to like done in that situation? Would you rather rely on the cannons, or would you hope they get close enough you had to battle it out hand to hand? I like my odds hand to hand. I don't trust the ship.
Both suck.
Yeah, they're not
Because it
ideal.
depends on numbers. It depends on
Experience.
Have you had food lately? You know, have you been
point.
starving for the last week and a half, and
That's
then all
a
of a
damn
sudden you
good
get
point.
hit by pirates? There's a lot of those guys like barely made it.
Oh,
like
of course.
they got across to land wherever they were going in those ships back then, and they barely made
Just
it. Like
famished.
people died on those things all the time.
Oh yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah.
And also the ocean's fucking terrifying. You ever see the videos of like these giant ships in the middle of the ocean just getting vertical on these waves? That's terrifying.
And they were just their food was nothing. It was garbage. They got scurvy. They got all kinds of diseases.
Yeah.
There was rats on board. The rats were carrying fleas that carry diseases. Like, ugh.
No, I don't think I could have made it personally.
Fuck.
I would have stayed in England for sure.
And by the time you get there, you're so worn out. Like, I don't know how long it takes by sailboat to get from England to America. Like, how long does that take?
Was it just
Or you get
sails
from
back
Spain.
then too?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, there's no propeller.
Nothing.
Wow.
No
I never even
propellers.
registered that.
Those people
Holy
were so
shit.
gangster. Those people were so gangster. They didn't even know what was over there. They thought they were in India.
That's so fucking funny.
Bro, they thought that they were in India.
So wrong. And then kept calling people the wrong
They
thing.
kept to
It's
this
so
day, we call
funny.
them the wrong thing. Sailing from New York City to London takes about 6 nights and 7 days, depending on your speed. That's because of the famous Royal Places, Big Ben, and double-decker buses of London. Yeah, but I don't think
I don't buy
that's
that. I thought it took,
think
like,
that's
weeks.
today. The edition mentions typical passage from New York to the English Channel for a well-found sailing vessel of about 2,000 tons was around 25 to 30 days, with ships logging 100 to 150 miles per day on average. That's not that bad.
No, that I believe that number.
Yeah, 30 days is pretty good.
I mean, that's still so uncomfortable. You ever have
That's
to
if
be
everything goes well.
Oh yeah. Do you ever seen that video going around recently of those potential
back at-
mermaids on the side of that ship in the middle of the ocean?
No.
What?
What are you talking about?
Are you serious?
Potential mermaids?
Jamie, you know what I'm
I've
talking
seen
about?
it. I
Is
saw it
this
on
some
TikTok. It's a TikTok thing.
CGI nonsense?
There is like a guy sailing on the back of the ship, and you can hear moans, right? Sort of.
So there's like
God.
it's just a dude on a blurry cell phone video. It looks like a good cell phone video, and there's these things that are like racing on the side of the boat that are going the same speed as the boat, and there's like a tail or something trailing behind them, and this keeps up for hours, and then you start to hear whistling.
Let me
you
see
hear
this nonsense.
tunes. It's that you
I
hear
need to see
you
this
hear what sounds like
nonsense.
one of them say "jump for me."
Oh God!
Yeah,
How do you
it's-
think this is real? There's no way this is real.
I
Imagine
don't
if
know if
I'm
it
being.
is.
This is like the beginning of a movie, right? You and I are having this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're being super skeptical, and then in the movie you find out there has been a very small group of mermaids that have existed in the ocean, hiding from humanity because we've only discovered 10% of the ocean.
Is
This
it
is a fun world to live in.
Is it this one?
Yeah, this guy.
All right. So this video is a couple years old, but
Oh, okay.
No fucking way! Wait, I just threw this overboard. Y'all saw me throw it overboard. This, are you fucking kidding me? That did not just.
So what is this guy saying?
he's got a couple videos.
We just out here.
Seems like he spent a lot of time out in the water. You know?
That looks like.
So where are the mermaids?
And this is a much longer video than I've ever seen. Well, that was one of the sounds.
There you go.
You hear the jump for me?
That's crazy.
That's.
I didn't hear
there's a-
jump for me. Did you hear it jump for me, Jamie?
Not
It's one of those
specifically.
things that somebody did the subtitles for it one time, and that always makes your brain register it a little bit easier.
He just has a few videos like this.
But where's the video of the mermaids?
Yeah,
bro?
it was a part of the same one we were just watching where you heard like the squeal.
So in there's a mermaid?
Yeah, I think it's before this.
This one might have cut it off. Because this, what I have found is a like smash cut of a few videos this guy made.
That sounds
this is like
whale.
this is like a compilation. You know what? It could have been a whale. It could have been. Easily
bro.
changed my mind.
It was definitely mermaids, bro.
You know what? Whales do make that sound. As a matter of
They
fact.
do. They make exactly
Also, could have just been a
that
fat
sound.
mermaid. We don't know.
I just don't. Whenever one dude in multiple videos is encountering mermaids, I get suspicious.
But here's this. You know what? Your reaction right now is why I love to believe in ghosts, aliens, cryptids, Bigfoot, mermaids, all that kind of shit. Because imagine this shit is real. Imagine this dude had a
know.
real experience, right?
I love the idea of all of those things you just
Yeah.
mentioned. I really do. I love
Really?
the idea.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that you love that stuff.
I fucking love nonsense. I got so high once I watched the Patterson Bigfoot footage. I was like, oh my God, what if it's real? What if I've been an asshole making fun of this thing forever when it's actually really a Bigfoot?
Yeah, and I imagine you've had that encounter, and the rest of the world thinks you're a fucking psychopath.
No,
That would
but-
feel so lonely.
But that moment only lasted like 15 minutes. The weed wore off a little bit. I was like, that shit is so fake.
This was a similar one. I don't know if you know anything about this.
I haven't
Matt.
seen this.
So this guy, I've seen this video multiple times. Supposedly this guy saw a giant on the side of a hill.
A giant?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the part where so like it's something like this.
So
I
high.
think. He thought he saw it, so he goes back and like he's looking for it. It looks like it's someone walking on the side of a hill. The perspective is very strange. Let me change the angle.
The giant one is a fascinating one.
But then the guy disappears. So he's making a bunch of videos on TikTok, and then he just disappeared, and everyone's like, "Well, what the fuck happened?"
Wait, I don't know if I saw anything in the video.
Where's the,
the
where's
video?
that? Where's
So
the giant?
This is also a guy's making an edit about this whole story. I'm
Right.
trying to find this very specific video where he's trying to find the giant.
So he's driving in his truck and he sees a giant?
Yeah, he's driving on the truck and he sees something on the side of this hill, and I don't know if on this specific one you can see it.
Like how big of a giant?
That's what it's hard to tell because it's this. Like,
I mean,
look
that
how
looks
far away
it
he
looks
is.
far as shit, but I also
Yeah,
don't
and then it
see
looks-
anything.
The one you can find, I'll try to find it while I'm
What
talking. but
are you looking at? Do you see something?
I don't
there?
see anything.
I don't.
There's someone
again,
moving there?
I'm trying to find the very specific thing, but there is it looks just like this, and you can see a person, like you can see the silhouette of a person on the side of that hill. It's weird from this far away. You could see that. That's
I'm
why
gonna be
they're
completely
calling it
honest. I
giant.
don't know what I'm looking at in that video
Yeah.
because like I saw the zoom in, but the zoom was in the sky.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't see shit. Like, where's this supposedly this
Yeah.
person? These people, it's like blob squatches. That's one of the things that Bigfoot hunters, they just start seeing shadows that look like Sasquatch, and they're convinced, and
Dude,
then they convince themselves.
The fact that show has been on for so fucking long.
They're still finding Bigfoot, bro.
Dude, how do you-
They're working
how do you
really
get
hard.
renewed
Here.
with no results?
Here's a picture of what the video is. Just a
Okay.
still shot.
Okay. I mean,
So he
Yeah.
saw,
that
he saw
could I don't know.
It's a perspective thing.
Yeah, I don't know how far away that zoom is.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a 6 foot tall dude up there.
Yeah, I mean, also humans are 6'7", 7 foot
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's not that big.
So they're claiming this guy died actually. Apparently.
oh
The
shit.
mountain guy up
oh
there?
no. Okay. Well, apparently he says, all right. I didn't. This is an update. This video was only posted recently.
Okay.
He
Admission that it was a
He
hoax?
was a hoax, and then he died.
Oh, you.
Oh, he made an admission the video was a hoax, and
Which I
then
did
he
not-
died.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. part.
Oh, well, it's
shit.
probably unrelated. The type of person who's out there
Yeah.
hoaxing giant videos is probably doing a lot of wild shit.
I
That's
would
what
imagine
my point
so.
on TikTok was. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are doing that, making these hoax
I'm
things of,
sure.
like, mermaids.
No, that's a product of DMT for
course.
sure.
That's how it goes viral. You gotta fake things. There's a lot of people faking things for
Oh,
sure.
Of course.
But there was the Bigfoot ones. Some of the Bigfoot fakes were so bad.
Mm-hmm.
There was one on the Les Stroud show where the guy was like so obviously wearing a mask. It was like a close up on a guy wearing a mask. It's so embarrassing. It's
At
so
least
bad.
try.
Yeah.
Like, make some kind of compelling case.
Yeah, Les Stroud is the shit. You know, Survivor Man, that guy's awesome. I mean,
Who's
that guy
this?
did legit things. He's the guy that, you ever see that show, Survivor Man?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, the show is amazing.
When was this on?
He used to go, like, it was a while back, and he used to go legitimately by himself with a very limited amount of tools, and he would live in wild places,
I
like
love
really
that.
dangerous places, and figure his way out and survive. And, you know, a lot of times, like, you could see on the show he was losing, like, 15 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Like, got really sick, got
You watch that show
injured.
Alone on Netflix?
Yeah, it's similar, but this was, like, one guy with his own cameras doing this everywhere.
So cool.
Yeah, that's why, like, other shows, like, remember when Bear Grylls had a show?
Yeah.
There's, like, multiple camera people, and they're filming him doing wild things. It's like,
Yeah.
that's what they wanted to do with him, and Les is like,
No, I do the
Like,
real thing.
This is the real thing. So Les is obsessed with Bigfoot too, so he went looking for Bigfoot. But there was, you know, on one of the episodes, they're looking at this footage, and I'm looking at footage. It looks to me like a guy in a monkey suit. See if you can find it.
Which one?
It's Les Stroud Bigfoot footage. It's very controversial because the guy who claimed to have captured the video is very controversial. Imagine if it's real. I mean, and everybody's like disparaging you, and you literally saw a Bigfoot.
Oh, of course.
That would drive
You'd shit your
you
pants,
nuts.
man.
Yeah, but watch this. Put it
Well,
up.
just as I'm looking for it, he's looking for him again recently.
Les is looking for it again
Yeah,
recently.
like he's got a
Bigfoot.
video from a month ago in
And then
North
you
Texas.
get, but then you have to have the
Well, here's
conversation
the
of is
thing,
it
though.
is it one?
If it's real and he's right, then we look stupid. But
Is there one or is this a species?
bro, there's so many people out there in the wild. You know who doesn't see Bigfoot?
Who?
Hunters. The people that are really out there in the wild, they're not having these experiences. The people that are having these experiences,
That's a damn good point.
you know, it's just. And there's also a thing about bears. Bears walk on two legs all the time.
Do they really?
All the
All-
time.
Like grizzly bears?
Especially black bears. Especially black bears. There's hours of footage of black bears walking on two legs.
That's
Just
fucking
walking
terrifying.
to the woods on two legs. I've seen
there's hunter videos of that. Yeah.
I've seen it in person with my own eyes. I've watched a black bear stand on his two legs and walk.
How tall can they get on? Can a black bear
7,
get?
8 feet.
Fuck.
They're big animals, man.
Oh yeah, I think a grizzly bear is the number one thing I'm afraid of, like in the world.
That should be right up there. They're a massive killing machine.
I remember being a kid and seeing at the Columbus Zoo. They have an exhibit there where you can go inside their cave because that's where they spend most of their time there.
Yeah.
And you can see them up against the glass and laying down. It's like 4.5 feet, 5 feet tall.
What is this one?
I don't know.
Bigfoot from 2013. Is this the one? So there's one where there's like a close up on Bigfoot's face.
Oh, so that but I can't find the one where he's walking, or I can't even find video.
That's
of
it right down
I know,
there.
but it's just a picture.
Okay, but look at that picture.
Oh my God. No. No.
But when
It looks
you
like
see
Teen
it,
Wolf.
when you see it in the show, like it's like the guy zooms in on it, he gets a close up. It's like Bigfoot's just staring
It's
back
too
at him.
posed.
Like all these years, Bigfoot's been shy, but Bigfoot's like, you know what? It's time to let these motherfuckers
you get the shot.
know. Time to let these motherfuckers know.
I was trying to find it. I thought that's what
It's
you
so-
wanted, but I couldn't find it.
that is the video.
It's
It's
just a
so
Which one of these was Joey's? Was it this one?
this one right here. Yeah.
This one? I'm gonna spark that back up. Thank you.
It's just if it is, I mean, imagine if it is real. Imagine if that video is real, right? But it doesn't look real. And
my nose.
in my limited experience, most things that look fake are fake. That looks fake as fuck.
Oh, damn it.
That looks fake as fuck. Look, his hair looks perfect. Well, it's nice and slick back. Recently
It's
applied.
so perfect.
Recently applied hair.
That
Yeah.
literally looks like Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf.
He looks clean.
Looks way too clean. That's exact. If that was a homeless dude, wouldn't give him money.
Or it
There's
was
no
a
way.
bear. Like bear hair looks different than that. Everything looks different.
I
than
don't
that.
want to meet a bear up close. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, they're a terrifying animal. But the thing is, like, when people find video of bears walking on two legs, Jamie. I just want you to imagine it's dusk, okay, and you're in the Pacific Northwest. So you're in
want any
this.
of this?
Sure, you're in this
It's not great.
thickly wooded area where it's like literally like a box of Q-tips. That's what the trees are like.
Yeah.
They're stacked in there. Have you ever been in the Pacific Northwest? Like,
Yeah, I love it
The
up there.
mountains up there, beautiful, right? The rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's where a lot of sightings are. It's also where a lot of bears are. Now, look at this. Look at this motherfucker. Look at
That
this bear.
literally looks like a guy in a costume. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
There's
mean,
also
what?
that China sun bear that went viral that people thought
Right.
was a guy
I
in a
will say
costume.
no swinging arms though. That would be the only sign that would make me think bear or not bear.
That bear had a wound, though. That bear was a bear that was missing one of its paws. One of the
Aw.
one of the other bears probably bit his paw off. I saw a monkey in Costa Rica that had his hand bitten off. And I was like, wow, what do you think happened to his hand? And the guy we were with was like, oh, another monkey bit it off. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, probably when he was a baby. I'm like, really?
Didn't somebody have their
holy
hands
shit.
pulled off by a chimpanzee?
Yes.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
They're so strong.
They're so strong.
dude.
We can't even imagine. They're so strong and they're so aware of the things you want, like your fingers. They bite your fingers off. It's one of the first things they do. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
when chimpanzees attack you, they bite your fingers off because they know without your fingers you can't protect yourself. And that's part of what makes you a person. They also grab your dick. They rip your dick off.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. They bite your face off. They tear your eyes out. Yeah, they're not trying to kill you.
Diabolical.
They're trying to rip you apart. They're not even trying to kill you. They're trying to torture you.
That
Yeah.
is the most caveman shit I've ever heard of.
It's far beyond. They're so different than us, but yet so similar. Have you ever seen Chimp Nation on Netflix?
I don't think so.
You gotta watch it. It's wild.
The lady.
Because what's up?
The picture of the lady after the attack.
Oh, don't show me.
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Don't show me it.
Can I see it?
Okay.
Oh fuck, I'm sorry.
I won't show
It's
it to the
okay.
internet.
Just
You can
put it on the screen. He can look
Yeah,
at it. I don't want to see this lady's face. This is a lady that her friend had a chimpanzee that was a pet, and she
That's what she did look
she
like.
went to visit the lady, and the chimp tore her face apart.
Oh, she looks like a belly button.
Yeah, he tore her face apart.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he was just upset at her because she was cock blocking him.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. She used to sleep with the chimpanzee. She gave the chimpanzee Xanax and wine, and this lady was nuts.
Oh yeah, this was Michael Jackson's monkey. This is living the best
It
life
was way
ever.
worse than that because it was a full-grown male, and it was really big. It was like 200 pounds because it was like eating well. How big was the chimpanzee when they shot it?
It says tiny chimp had been left alone with his mother. Oh, sorry, I shot that.
No, that's not the same one. The one that tore that lady apart was big.
Yeah, this one actually said it
It had
was
a
their
diaper
friend.
on.
It wasn't the people who owned it. It was the couple's friend.
Are there
It wasn't the people who owned it. What?
This says that on the one I'm looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
It says he snapped and attacked the couple's friend.
So he didn't even attack someone who had seen the chimp before? It was a new person?
I don't know if it was the first time meeting. I was trying to catch up to that, to like what happened in there.
Oh.
Make sure this was the same one we're talking about. I mean, it didn't happen.
They've
plenty of
happened. There's
times,
been
yeah.
quite a few chimpanzee attacks. One of them was really horrible. This guy was a guy who had the chimp as a pet and raised it, but it got too big and they couldn't take it anymore, so they brought it to a chimpanzee shelter. And it was his birthday, so they brought a cake for the chimp for his birthday. And the other chimps were so jealous that he got a cake and they didn't, that they got out of the cage and tore the guy apart. Yeah, because chimps get very, very jealous.
the fact that
Very
they can
jealous.
even like
I know that not only
process
that,
that emotion of
but
jealousy?
they also
Such a human
knew how to
emotion.
get out of the cage somehow or another.
So they probably knew the whole time.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if somebody fucked up and left something open and they noticed it and then tore the guy apart. It could have been in the process of when they were getting the other chimp out, so they give him the cake that they saw this and
Jesus Christ.
It says she knew the chimp. But
she knew the chimp. Yeah.
she came out with a tickle me Elmo, and the chimp lunged at her.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh my God.
fucking hates Sesame Street.
They hit him with the
Oh,
spade, stabbed him.
it was the chimp's favorite toy.
Oh.
She tried to steal his favorite toy.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God.
He's eating her. It says.
Oh my.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That is fucking brutal.
How big was the chimp?
Um,
Because there's photos of him. See if you can see the
well,
photo.
yeah,
Don't.
Jesus.
it's right here. I mean, this doesn't show the exact.
No, that's him when he's a tiny baby. But is there any photos of him as a full-grown male?
didn't-
Because I know there is of him with a diaper on.
Let me Google then.
Like he would wear a diaper, because otherwise he would just shit everywhere. Just you know.
Almost domesticated.
Yeah. Well, I think he's like, I run this house.
I'll shit
I'll take
wherever I
a
want.
Shit right here. This is the living room. There's plenty of room in here.
Is there any kind of
Is that him?
It says it's Travis the chimp.
God damn?
That's the
He
picture
was
that comes up.
massive, dude.
Yeah.
Massive. There's a photo of them the lady walking with him.
That's one of the fattest chimps I've ever seen.
There was a photo of her when you get to see like the perspective of the full-grown chimp next to a human. Like, God, it's just a sack of muscle. Is that him up there with it circled?
I couldn't tell. It doesn't. This looks like a.
No, that just looks like a like one of those drive-through.
He's like trying to get in the car or something.
Yeah, it does look like one of those.
Jesus.
But it says it's a 911 call from the chimp attack, and that was describing the same thing. It
Oh, that might be him out there. Oh,
Yeah.
look at the cop
Oh
cars.
my
Yeah.
God! Can you imagine being the cop showing up? You don't know how to handle this fucking thing.
Not only that, he might rip the door right off the fucking car.
You think
like
he could?
It's made out of cardboard.
Oh man.
He definitely could put his hand right through that window. 100%. A guy can put his hand through a window.
Like, do you think you even try to tase that? You think that does anything?
Yes. Tasing would work.
You think so?
Bullets-
Because I've seen
Bullets
humans
is
take
what
a.
you do. You use bullets.
Yeah,
if
you
the
have
fucking
to.
chimp is eating people's faces,
Oh,
and
man.
you see him on the street, you gotta put that motherfucker down.
If you miss,
Isn't that crazy? It was over. She was taking his toy. How the fuck did she not know that was his?
I don't think she just registered how.
You know how
Primal.
dogs get with their toys?
Oh, of course.
And dogs are trained. You're not training a
She
chimp.
could have been picking it up to give it to him.
I think it said she was leaving with it.
Oh, well, also, why the fuck are you taking the toy in the
She's-
first place?
Maybe she was trying to fuck with him. Maybe we're not. You know, maybe there was like some thing going on where she didn't like.
Has
it.
anyone taken this stance from the monkey side?
No. Well, the chimp plays for keeps.
Oh, absolutely.
Tickle me Elmo doll means you don't have a face anymore. Just whoa. Like,
Is there an exotic animal that if you had the means to do it properly,
No.
that you would want as a pet?
no, I don't. I like pets as pets. I appreciate wild animals for what they are, and I think there's something real weird about owning them. And if you want to, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to, but there's something fucking very strange.
I want a pet otter.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Dude, they're fucking adorable.
Right, but wouldn't it be cooler if you saw an otter in a river and he's out there chilling, doing otter things,
Yeah, I suppose. So.
catching his own fish and eating them?
Cracking the fucking clams on their chest and shit. The cutest. dude.
Cutest, holding that fish and fucking eating his head.
I know. I just want a pet one so bad.
Did you see that lady's face who got fucked up by an otter?
Somebody was telling me about this. Is there a photo? Yeah. Jamie, I'm sorry to make you keep bringing up gruesome shit, but I got to see this because it's an unhealthy obsession I have with otters.
I don't know what happened.
This isn't as bad.
Well, Jesus,
I mean,
it's not as bad as the chimp.
Yeah, no, it's
But she got
Oh,
fucked
yeah,
up
it's
by an otter, dude.
Small. I've seen cats do worse. That's fine.
Yeah, but that's a fucking wild animal in your face. Dude, if a squirrel was trying to fuck you up,
But
you'd be
look how
scared.
cute he is.
Look, they're very adorable.
Oh my god.
They're absolutely adorable.
Little sea weasels.
Yeah, they're cute. Like if they were really domesticated, I mean, I don't know if you can domesticate. I really know nothing about domesticating otters. But if that's possible, I think they'd be the cutest pets ever.
I'll find out.
They're adorable.
I'm gonna let you. Have you seen the videos of like them showing humans how to pet them?
Yes.
That's the cutest
That's
shit ever,
pretty fucking
dude.
cute. That's pretty fucking cute.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna do my research.
If that's really what they're like, if you domesticate them, that's pretty cool. I bet you can't have an aquarium.
Or you can, and treat this motherfucking otter to a buffet whenever you
That's
want, man.
what it
All
would
you can
be.
eat salad bar, dog.
That's what it would be.
That'd be
Could
my
this little
ideal house.
baby
Is like
was
this.
biting,
What's
biting
that?
and ripping.
Oh, but like puppies do that, you know?
But
Yeah, puppies
how you
do
gonna
that.
teach an otter?
Maybe they're smarter than we think.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it's just a thing they do when they're scared. Maybe that person was treating them wrong.
Yeah, I've seen
Who
people miss.
knows?
You ever see somebody who like thinks they're really gentle with animals, but they're so
They're
not.
rough, yeah.
They pet dogs like,
Oh yeah, some people like slap dogs.
or like,
hey, buddy.
or one hand pick
Yeah.
them up like an awkward way, and you're like,
Yeah.
I know you don't
Oh.
mean well, but
I
like
know.
you're doing this.
Imagine being a
terribly.
Chihuahua. Everybody's gonna carry you.
Oh, I would hate to be a small dog, man.
Oh, what a fucking torturous life.
I know.
Everyone has to carry you everywhere.
You have a dog, right? You have a golden retriever?
Yes,
Oh, beautiful dog.
he's
man.
great. He's the best.
I want one so bad.
They're the sweetest dogs of all time. He's just a sweetheart to everybody. He's just a big old love sponge. It's just
want-
super sweet.
I want
friendly.
a golden retriever, German shepherd. I would love to have. So beautiful.
Those are
so
great dogs
smart.
too. Those are dogs though that need activity.
Yeah, they need stimulation.
Yeah, they need activity. You can't just have a German Shepherd and keep him in a little yard, like going out of his fucking mind, like he's in prison.
No. Also, what a waste of talent.
Right.
They're so smart and
Yeah.
so
They're
impressive.
very smart dogs. Very smart dogs. They're a different kind of dog. You know, that's a working dog.
Yeah, but I guess it's just people want different things in a dog. I just got my mom for Mother's Day last year this tiny little thing that's like literally the size of this coffee mug. Like you could accidentally squish it so easy.
Yeah. Some
like,
people like
what did
those
you
kind of dogs.
But also, what does that come from? Like that's not a descendant of a wolf.
It is. It is.
How does that happen?
Well, selective breeding. And also, there's a thing that happens with animals. We don't totally understand it, but they've done this study with foxes where they took foxes and over a period of like not that many generations, what they did was anytime a fox displayed any aggression towards people, they killed it. And over a certain period of time, all the foxes that were left, their jaws had shrank, their ears were more floppy. They started like giving in to the idea of domestication, and they literally started softening their appearance. They weren't alert like a fox would be if it was like, a little killer. Silver fox domestication experiment. Man. So for the last 59 years, a team of Russian geneticists led by Ludmila, how do you say that? Ludmila Trut have been running one of the most important biology experiments of the 20th and now 21st century. The experiment was the brainchild of Trut's mentor, Dmitry Belyaev, who in 1959 began an experiment to study the process of domestication in real time. He was especially keen on understanding the domestication of wolves to dogs, but rather than use wolves, he used silver foxes as his subjects. Here I provide a brief overview of how the silver fox domestication study began and what the results to date have taught us. Experiments continue to this day. And then I explain just how close this study came to being shut down for political reasons during its very first year.
Jesus.
Okay, so that's the abstract. This is I'm probably butchering the story, but over time, these things started to change, and they softened their appearance and they dropped their ears, and so there's a thing that happens with pigs where the opposite happens. When you take a domesticated pig and you release it in the wild, they morph within I think it's a very short amount of time. I want to say it's less than 2 months of living in the wild. They start to display different characteristics. With males, their snout extends. I think with females too. But males grow these big-ass tusks, and their hair gets thicker.
Wow.
Their hair gets thicker all over the body.
Just instinctually for being out there.
They know they're on their own, and their body morphs.
Wow.
So their appearance morphs.
That's an incredible genetic.
It's crazy. So there's different kinds of pigs, but they're all the same animal. I think the genus is called Suscrafa. And that when you see a wild boar, a lot of them could have descended from domesticated pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because people have pig farms and pigs get out, fences break, and the pigs get loose. And some of those pigs, they just keep having piglets, but they're wild pigs.
Yeah.
But they look like wild boars, like from, what you would expect from like some movie, right? That's what happens.
Very quick evolution.
Yeah. See if you can find like how much time it takes for a domesticated pig to start displaying wild looks. Well, that's a bad way to Google it.
This is what I love about you and your show. Like you're very insightful on a lot of things I find very, very fascinating. You're like if Bill Nye the Science Guy offered people DMT.
I got plenty of stupid information.
I love it. It's all things that fascinate me.
But if you look at it that way, right? If a pig becomes harder in the wild, and a wolf becomes softer with domestication. If you just kept doing that and like softening it, like when you associate those little tiny fluffy dogs, what do you associate them with? Like some lady who's got a nice house and a nice car, and she's got a nice little fluffy dog that sits next to her.
Yeah.
Like they've taken that wolf and knocked it down to that over thousands of years.
And it's funny that like the same thing happens to humans. I mean, like we got trapped inside for 2 years. Soften the fuck up.
Yeah, it's all, and also society.
Yeah.
The needs of like society, especially society like ours, it's not engaged in war on our shores, where there's not like a physical threat of actual violence from the enemy. you tend to soften things up, and the same sort of experiment is going on with male human beings. That's going on with dogs and wolves.
I've heard that quote on this show so many times.
Yeah.
Hard times breed hard people. Hard people breed easy times. Easy times, easy people, or whatever it is. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, hard times create hard men. Hard men create easy times. Easy times create soft men. Soft men create hard times.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's normal. It's just they've known this forever. This is how humans work. From hog to wild hog, how a stealth gene transforms pigs into wild boars.
Holy shit.
A barnyard escapee can quickly resemble a feral hog, growing bigger and hairier in a matter of months. Isn't that wild? So that pig right there could have started out as a domesticated pig and got out, and it will turn into that wild-looking thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Experts say the crisis is largely driven by people who trap and transport the animals so they can be hunted. Oh, wow. It may be the year of the rabbit, the pig, the feral pigs. Like, how long does it? Yeah, it's sus scrofa. So that is millennia of chasing wild boars around the woods with spears. Homo sapiens finally got wise. Roughly 9,000 years ago, which is now in what is now eastern Turkey, our ancestors began domesticating the Eurasian boar, sus scrofa. By the time, so they were wild first, then they domesticated them. And they're like gremlins. You feed them at night.
Yeah.
Okay, by the time Christopher Columbus picked up a few to take along on his second voyage to America in 1493, the 400-pound tusked beast had been transformed into a pink, floppy-eared familiar. In that time, pig husbandry had produced a docile and resilient animal, one bred to survive a range of climatic conditions and to reproduce a lot. Well, that's the thing about pigs. Like, they have 3 litters a year.
Do they really?
Yeah, they bang out babies. Like, let's go. And they start doing it when they're like 6 months old. So at 6 months old, they're already spitting out kids.
And how many piglets do they usually have? Like 8?
That's a good question. I think it's about 6. If I had to guess, it might be more. What is the average litter of a pig?
Is that what they'd be called? Litters?
I think. I'm just guessing.
They're so smart, too.
Yeah. Average pig litter.
Man, the amount of tabs you have open at this browser is so funny.
It's just right now.
7.5. The average litter size is 7.5. It's not uncommon for a sow to have 12 to 14 pigs per litter.
How do you have a half? Just one little midget?
It's just an average. You know, some 15, some 13, some 2.
Thank you, Jamie.
That's pretty nuts, man. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, man.
So they're just constantly pumping out kids. And when you let them grow out in the wild, they turn back into what they originally were. So that makes sense that if you took dogs and you like slowly gave them food all the time, and all the the wolves that were like bitch ass wolves that couldn't hunt anymore, like, come on, bitch ass wolf,
Yeah.
I got some food for you. Just growl when the bears come, and then they okay, I'll do that for you. Just like people kind of get, people that have like overpowering bosses.
This
that are
is
mean.
weird when we learned the other week or the other day.
Wait, what?
Oh, the thing about wolves. Shockingly enough, a creature almost synonymous with the sea didn't actually begin that way. And boy, is it a whale of a tale. A mind-blowing video recently posted by PBS Eons reveals that whales were actually predatory land animals, the same ones that would later become wolves, specifically. So the animal branched off in the water and became whales, and on the ground became wolves.
Oh, man.
What the fuck?
What?
How wild is that? That is
And
fucking
hippos,
wild.
I guess, came from the same thing. At some
And
point.
hippos came from the same thing. Wow.
What
Hippo.
Bible chapter is this in?
They missed that part. Hippos scare the fucking shit out of me, man.
Oh, I mean, that's a dinosaur.
They are
They
so
look
insane.
so
looking.
unbelievable. And aren't they relatively aggressive?
Oh, super aggressive. And they go after boats. They take people out. The thing about hippos is it's one of those other animals that for whatever reason, when we anthropomorphize, when we give them like human characteristics, we make them sweet. Hungry, hungry hippo.
Yeah.
Like polar bears. Like it's Coca-Cola.
No, absolutely
Klondike
not.
bars.
So aggressive.
They're terrifying.
No,
we
fuck
do
all
that
that.
with so many like terrifying animals. We do, fucking Yogi Bear. We turned one of the scariest animals in the forest
Frosted
into your
Flakes.
buddy. Hey, boo boo.
Yeah.
Let's get us a picnic basket. Remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, Yogi Bear was like this sweetheart, and how many people grew up thinking bears were their friends because of that stupid shit? And then these dummies, you go out in the woods and you're like, oh no.
Mauled to death.
People used to look at bears for what they are, and then teddy bears came around. And then when they started giving people teddy bears, then they started like thinking that like bears are your little friends.
Yeah.
And
Build-A-Bear is responsible for a lot of deaths.
Oh.
People don't talk about that enough.
I don't think Build-A-Bear is responsible, but the teddy bear is. The Build-A-Bear, by the time Build-A-Bear came, it was already Disney movies. It was already too late.
Yeah.
It was already too late. Bears are your friends. Animals are your friends. They talk to you. They save you. They tell the people about the Wicked Witch, and
Oh my God. Oh.
they're on your side.
Have you seen that video of somebody hanging in the background of The Wizard of Oz?
What?
You don't know about? Oh, this is very popular.
Oh,
There's-
I have seen
there's-
it. Now I remember.
I think it is. I don't even think that's like. I think it is a person.
Some people say it's a bird.
Oh, okay.
Some people say it's a bird in the background.
I thought it was like somebody who worked on the set. It's
They
like,
said it was.
"Eh,
They said it was
enough."
one of the little
Enough.
people. Yeah, they were the first person to go on SAG strike.
Unpacking the myth of the hanging munchkin. So, might be a myth.
Oh no, there's an unpacking.
That's the problem with Googling things.
Yeah, you
Kills
don't
all the fun.
want, you don't want all the answers.
No.
It's fun to be naive.
No, sometimes you want just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like to like read about like shit like Hollow Earth.
It's that. That's that thing right there. I remember
What the
seeing
fuck
this
is
when I
Hollow
first
Earth?
seen something
Please
like
unpack
That's-
after this.
that. All right, right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be anything.
And when they're walking, it does start moving like side to side.
It starts walking.
No, what?
People
when
say
they're
it's a
walking.
swaying,
I'm saying,
right?
yeah, when they're walking down the yellow
You
brick
don't
road.
think they would see
Yeah,
that?
you
and
think
stop
somebody
filming?
would-
Hey, keep rolling. But there's a fucking guy hanging. Keep rolling. You know how much money this film costs?
Jesus Christ! It's just one of the executive producers.
You know how much money the studio's investing in this film? I'll pull the plug on it right now. Keep walking. Hanging little person be damned.
Please unpack Hollow Earth for me because you said it, and now I want to know everything about it.
Well, Hollow Earth it pales in comparison to Space is Fake. Space is Fake is the greatest conspiracy thing to dive into online. It's amazing. It's so fun.
How do you?
They think
even
there are lights
of-
in the sky.
like these kind of lights.
I don't know. There's a firmament. There's like a glass ceiling above it all. Nothing can go out there because there's nothing there.
Didn't
The Earth is flat.
Didn't somebody land on the dark side of the moon the other day?
China. Sent a
China
probe,
did?
I think.
I think it was India.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. It's
I don't think Earth. The space can't be fake, right?
It's amazing how many people are into it. If you just Google hashtag space is fake, you'll be taken to these random Instagram accounts. Now, and here's the thing about it. I don't know if they're real people, but I don't know if it matters because it could start off as like some Russian troll. Like there's these things called like the Internet Research Agency is one of them. These troll farms. You know about these?
no, but it makes
Okay.
sense.
Renee DeResta reported on it, and some people, a lot of people have reported on it. But what it is they have these places where there's thousands and thousands of accounts, and they set up like there's images of it where you see like rows of cell phones that are connected to this network. And they have these people that have the access to these accounts, and they're posting things that are really stupid. They're posting things that are ridiculous conspiracy theories. They're posting things blaming Democrats for certain things and blaming Republicans for certain things. At one point in time, Facebook, 19 of their top 20 Christian sites were run by Russian troll farms. It's genius, like social sabotage at a very high level.
Holy shit.
And so they're interacting with people constantly online. So if you see people fighting on Twitter, if you say like a controversial post goes up about anything, and with foreign policy, trans rights, abortion, Second Amendment, anything. If you go into one of those popular posts, you'll see all these like crazed right wing and crazed left wing opinions. Occasionally, you click on them, and if you go to, like, I should say occasionally, oftentimes you'll click on them, and you go to a page that seems oddly unhuman. It seems fake. It doesn't seem like a real personality behind it. And you go into it and you see that they're always engaging on these very specific issues, and they're always being like very confrontational, and it kind of discourages people that disagree with them from interacting with them, and it kind of encourages people that love to fight with people to fight back. So you get all this interaction. And these people do it to steer conversations and get people to lose faith in democracy, lose faith in the police's ability to protect you, lose faith in whether or not we can unite racially or sexually, like whether we can be a harmonious country. It's like designed to keep conflict going. It literally can accelerate conflict like gasoline on a fire, and that you can engineer to a certain extent. I don't know what percentage, but imagine it's 5%. You can 5% through these trolls engineer conversations in the public. And you could get people to do a lot of really dumb shit. Like if you wanted to get people to believe that the earth is flat, or if you wanted to get people to believe that the earth is hollow and there's dinosaurs inside of it and aliens live in there, you could get people to believe that. And then they would start fighting about it online. And then you could get people to believe that, you know, there's been a bunch of them. There's been a bunch of them that are like mainstream propaganda things, like the Russia collusion hoax with Trump. It took us like 3 years to figure that out. But now everybody knows. It didn't really happen the way they were saying it was happening every day on the news. If that can take place with like mainstream media, how much of like what people are fighting about is like engineered?
Oh, man.
How much of it?
That might be the most evil thing I've ever heard in my entire life, to just control and design chaos.
You definitely are encouraging chaos. Like if people can still choose to engage or not engage, and that's where things get interesting.
That's terrible, man. I mean, the internet is already such a terrible, dark, mean place without that. You add that fuel on top of it, oh my God, it's no wonder people are depressed.
What would really be scary is if you were forced to interact with people on the internet. Like if the internet, if there was like a social, like a contract that you had to make where you had to give your opinions on certain issues, agree or disagree. Gender affirming care is essential to a child, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, ooh, like a certain amount of logged hours of opinions.
Agree
or
or disagree. We have to move to 100% renewables by 2030 at all costs. Agree or disagree. You know, voter ID is racist. Agree or disagree. The climate change is real and the science supports it. Agree or disagree. Vaccines are the most essential technology the medical science has ever created. Agree or disagree.
What's crazy is
we need
people
to support the war in Ukraine, and the United States has never done anything to encourage Russia invading Ukraine, including helping NATO move arms closer to their border. Agree or disagree.
What's terrifying
Vaccines are safe and effective. Agree or disagree. Imagine if you had to do that every couple of months and go over that, and that's how people decided whether or not you could go to the grocery store today, or you had to wait till Saturday, or whether or not you could buy a plane ticket ever. Whether, you know, like...
The thing is, now people feel like voluntarily they need to voice their opinions on those things.
Right.
It's like, for what? At the end of the day, for what?
They just like fighting.
They just love... It's incredible, man.
Yeah, people like it.
I hate the internet so much.
Well,
man.
I love it.
I always
love
avoided it.
You got to just avoid the stuff that sucks. Just avoid interacting with people in that way. It's just not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. It's not good for anybody. You know, you can interact with people and learn some interesting things, but at a certain level of fame, that becomes really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah, you can't, if you're just interacting with people, you're going to get people that are doing things just to get your attention.
I know.
And one of the ways to get your attention is to say something negative.
I'm so bad at that.
Yeah.
I'm so bad. I'm so confrontational. Is like, I'm going to get John Lennon for sure, dude.
Don't say that.
Dude, the amount of times somebody's been like, I'm gonna come to one of your shows and kick your ass. I've just like sent them my entire tour schedule and be like, you can come to any show you want. I cannot stand the confidence people have behind the internet. It's impeccable.
Not. Most of it's not real, but there are a few psychos out there. So I wouldn't, you know.
I know. I'm in the wrong for responding like that.
Don't do that.
I can't stand
Don't do that, fella.
Dude. it gets
Yeah.
my fucking blood boiling.
And then, but when people know that you can't stand it, then they're gonna do it more.
I know.
Yeah.
Jamie cut it before they feed the fucking fire.
We can cut that out if you want.
No, fuck, leave it in there, dude. Couldn't be less scared.
Ah. Yeah, you're traveling a lot, huh?
Yeah, man. Thanks
Do you
to the
do
internet.
anything to like? Do you do anything like right when you land to like to get rid of jet lag? Have you ever figured anything out like that?
No, I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
You go to. I have to work out every day. That's my thing. Like,
Do you go to the gym right when you land?
no, not necessarily, but depending on what time I land, I think, because I like to work out before the show just to
Right.
get my blood pumping a little bit. Because I
Yeah.
wake up most days so tired that I'm like, let me at least get a little energized.
Yeah.
Get my body moving.
Isn't that ironic that when you're tired, the best thing you do is something difficult and you wake up?
So weird.
It's so hard to tell your body that, though. Today was hard for me to tell my. I mean, I do it every
Mm-hmm.
day, but every day I have the same fucking conversation. My body's like, I'd rather just lay here, bitch.
But that's what
You're the-
discipline is.
My body's like, you're the boss. Nobody can tell you what to do. Shut the fuck up.
We don't have to get
Yeah.
up and do anything.
I'm like, you literally work for yourself. You don't have to be at work until 1:30. What are you doing? Go back to sleep.
but then you have
back
to
to
ask
sleep,
yourself,
bitch.
what would David Goggins do?
David Goggins would already be up. He's up. That's not. You can't decide to live your life by what that guy does because you'll die.
He's one of the scariest people. Like you don't have to live this extreme, man.
But he's lovely. He's a great guy. Like as
I
a
wanna meet him
human.
someday. He seems very cool.
I love him to death. As a human, he's great. He's
I
a cool guy.
I like his motivation. I like being around positive people that
Yeah.
inspire me to do better.
And when he trusts you, like he knows you, he's cool as fuck. He's a fun guy.
Did
He's
he
a
get
fun
into it
guy.
with Stavros?
Get into it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, were they upset with each other?
Stavros the comic?
Yeah.
No, really? Is that real?
I saw a weird cut up video that I didn't know if it was a real video. or
That's
not.
probably one of them Ping Trip videos.
Oh my! It was very
100%.
funny.
yeah,
It was
our
very
boy
funny.
Ping
but
Trip.
I
Shout out to
couldn't
Ping
believe-
Trip. This is dude Ping Trip who takes. He takes.
It
his
was
fucking-
impressive.
He
I was
had-
like,
me and Duncan Trussell being in love with each other. There's like a ton
That's
of them
very
out there.
funny.
It's he's hilarious. He does a great job with those.
Duncan's
But,
a good guy,
Yeah,
too.
I don't think Stavros would say jack shit to David Goggins.
I was like, what?
Nobody's
Why
gonna
would
talk shit to that guy. He's terrifying. His fucking will and resolve is terrifying.
it's impressive.
Oh, this is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You want to try a cookie? You want to try from...
Yeah, this one.
Dude, it'll be fun. You're fat as Yeah. You want to be fat? Yeah, dude. Being fat's fun. Your mind is full of shit. That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. You need to work harder. I don't want to be doing work. You roll your fat ass out of bed and all you want is some fucking damn cinnamon buns and shit. Yeah, I love that. Man, you are a piece of shit.
Oh my god, this is horrible.
Yeah, man. That's why
This
I was
is
like, are they
harsh.
okay?
Oh my god, this is so harsh.
I don't want to work that hard. You're not a man. You're no fucking man, dude. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. You're a fat, sloppy motherfucker.
Okay. This is too real.
It was aggressive. I was genuinely concerned.
Stavros is one of those guys. He's so funny. I don't care if he's fat. Stay fat, bro.
I haven't had a chance of meeting him yet, but I really want
He's
to. I think
so funny.
he's fucking hilarious.
Such a character. He's so funny on stage. He's so funny in real life. He's fucking hilarious.
and fucking hustles too, dude.
Yeah.
The clips he puts out, the
Yeah.
vlogs and everything.
That's funny. The young kids today, they respect your social media hustle.
It's only because, like, what most people don't know about me is I didn't want to do it for so long. Like, you don't understand. I despise social media. The ultimate success for me would be to be so successful I never have to look at my social media for the rest of my life. I just want to get there. So because of the work I've put in on it, I respect people who do the work.
Yeah, I respect it. It's definitely it makes look, if you're a good comic and nobody knows, that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, it's
know,
exposure, dude. You have to have
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of guys who are doing a really good job with that. Jeff Dye does a really good job with that. There's a lot of guys who are like Mark Norman,
Yeah.
Sam Morrell, all those
Oh,
guys. Those guys are doing a fantastic job.
Oh,
with that.
when Schultz and Morel started putting out their clips, that's when I was like,
Schultz
I
is the
have
master.
to do it.
Well, Schultz converted it into a Netflix show.
I know, genius.
Amazing.
Well, when he was doing it was when he was doing he was releasing a new bit every single week.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, if I can write 1 minute a week for a year, that's a brand new hour. Boom,
Yeah.
52 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so inspiring. And I was like, I need to be doing something relative to that.
Well, it's also, the pandemic kind of opened up doors and also closed a shitload of them. But it did open up doors with time. And when you're just sitting there and you can't do the normal thing that you do, you start thinking, okay, feel sorry for myself. That's all over. Let's get over that. And now let's figure out, what can we do?
Yeah.
And if you're a hustler, if you're a guy who's like a guy like Andrew, who's always trying to figure things out and get ahead and do better.
Innovative.
It's like, so he created like and by the way, it's a totally different style of comedy than his stand-up, which is interesting because it's these rapid fire punchlines, whereas stand-up is much more engaging and he pauses more, he laughs a lot.
More personable.
Yes. So this is like a different kind of comedy. But it was like really the best kind of comedy for the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like short attention span, rapid fire jokes, very silly, and turn your phone sideways.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
That's scary to think about. You had to do it.
You got to do something.
It was almost like a late night show, the way he wrote that material.
Yes. Yeah.
And the attention span during that time period was so fast. Remember we thought Quibi was going to be a good thing?
I never thought it was going to be a good thing.
No, nobody in their right fucking mind did, but Hollywood went, well, everyone's watching short things now. And everyone, are you sure? Well, everyone's on their phone. Those are always short videos.
What they don't understand is that you can't just set out to create a successful show like that or a successful thing like that and throw a bunch of money at it and know that it's going to be successful.
No.
You have to let them become successful, then you acquire them. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Like if you're because they'll give up, just like they give up with a TV show. If you have a TV show on ABC, and then the first few episodes come out and it doesn't do well, and then it drops off with the fourth, you're done, son.
Yeah.
Over. But if you have something that you've developed on your own and you put it on and these videos go viral naturally, then it makes sense that you have like a channel where there's 10 seconds, these videos that have already gone viral and people know to look for them. But if you're trying to get people to sign up for some new fucking thing while YouTube already exists, and you're going to dump unless you're like completely uncensored like Rumble or something like that kind of makes sense. That makes sense. But you're not going to be able to compete with them in terms of just entertainment. There's everything on there.
I will respect them taking a risk that Hollywood just doesn't do anymore. Every meeting I go into now is like, so what reboots do we want to do?
Right.
Like that's a real conversation every single meeting I have, and it's so sad.
Well, there's probably less projects than ever before.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
There's probably less money than ever before and less certainty. I mean, nobody wants to sit through 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. and watch 3 different commercial breaks.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that anymore. People are
No.
done with that.
Yeah.
That shit's stupid.
And yeah, unless you're a sitcom, that's the only thing
Yeah.
that really lives.
Yeah.
That's, middle of America.
Yeah. And then you're watching arthritis commercials.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we doing here? With Netflix and with HBO and all these different streaming services, it's like, wow. Like,
OnlyFans is getting in on the game as well.
yeah, they're producing comedy too, right?
Yeah,
doing
they're
comedy
wrapping my
specials.
tour bus coming up. I'm so excited.
That's hilarious.
so funny to get a sponsorship.
Have you
from
ever
them.
seen the amount of money that is spent on content creators on OnlyFans and most of it naked girls? Have you ever seen the amount of money? Let's guess. How much they spend a year? Like
OnlyFans?
subscribing, all the money that comes in. How much do you think they spend a
From
year?
all the
Yeah.
influencers, if
all
you want to call them
all
that.
of them. Yeah, influencers. Yeah.
I'm gonna say a year,
Yeah.
700 million.
It's way more than that, I think. And I think it's probably somewhere around the GDP of a small country.
What?
What is it? What's the amount that OnlyFans brings in every year?
It's definitely increased. Last year, which is going to be way more this year, 2022's revenue was $2.5 billion. But that's just OnlyFans. There's a couple other sites, too, that have to be included in
Bro,
this.
if you get enough pictures of tits and feet, you can buy Guatemala.
Bro,
That's fucking
how wild is that?
insane.
Okay, what's the GDP of Guatemala? Let's find out that.
Like Guatemala, are they doing well?
Way more.
How much?
Guatemala averaged, reaching an all-time high of 95 billion.
Oh,
in
God.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
off by a little. Well, that's
Fine.
Guatemala.
Record low of 1 billion in 1960.
Who's not doing well right now?
Okay, let's find a country that's not doing. Uruguay. Is that a good one?
Where the fuck is Uruguay?
I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna go for ranking and try to find.
Okay.
Someone.
Get me down to about 2.5 billion. Let's see what they could buy
Yeah,
with
let's
OnlyFans.
start talking. Let's start talking. That's insane.
Imagine if like OnlyFans Island. They buy a fucking island.
They could
They might be able
make
to
it
start
one of
their
those
own
like
country.
one of those content houses
Yeah,
where
they
it'd be
could do
like
their own
10 models
country.
living in there.
They could have their own rules, their own country.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. They have so much.
But that's only in a year, bro. That's what's crazy.
Billion.
Yeah, that's in a year. Now,
No.
how much does OnlyFans get? What do they get? Like 10%?
I think
How- what's the
10%.
That's the cut.
I think so.
Think of that.
But I'm wondering what inevitably set them aside from like Patreon's been around forever. Like girls were doing Patreon before OnlyFans. I wonder if the revenue split is better. Maybe is it easier to navigate?
Well, I think wasn't it like they started it with the idea OnlyFans. I don't necessarily think they started it for just girls doing that.
No, they told me they
started it for
didn't.
like fans of like performers and stuff and
Yeah.
different things.
Just
But
for-
that was what really caught on.
Yeah, exclusive content.
These gals make so much money.
Bullying is going to be at an all-time high in like 10 years, dude.
Bullying?
Yeah, in schools.
How come?
Imagine you got beef with a kid in school, and at any moment you can go, "Oh yeah, here's your mom's pussy for $3.99."
Oh my God.
It's
Good
gonna
call.
be an
I think-
all-time high.
But in 10 years, people could have pictures of every mom's pussy. You could
I
have
hope not.
videos of your mom fucking.
Oh, God,
they'll-
I hope
they'll,
not.
They'll make it with CGI. Like you'll be able to do it on your phone in 13
Man,
seconds.
people were just AIing
Matt
it.
Rife sucking a cock. Bang.
Yeah, that
I
video's
mean,
not out there.
100% they can
Yeah,
make
that's
that. But they can make
That's how
that
you
right
get out of it
now.
from now on. That's AI, dude. That wasn't me.
They're real close to being able to do that with like very realistic. I mean, they can make your face move and make words come out of your mouth that you didn't say. They can take old recordings of you, and then they have the bass line. There's a ton of commercials out there of me that I don't have anything to do with it. They're not really my commercial. I didn't really make a commercial. They used AI. They used my voice. They can do wild shit now, man. And
Yeah.
you got to imagine that like if you're like a young female celebrity, there's probably already face swaps of you online
Oh, I'm
in
sure.
porn scenes.
Yet there's no good footage of Bigfoot. Not one
Yes.
AI interpretation of Bigfoot.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Come on. Well, I think Bigfoot was a real animal at one point in time.
Okay.
It just makes sense. First of all, historically, it was a real animal. There's a thing called Gigantopithecus. They found its bones in an apothecary shop. There was a large primate molar that our anthropologist found in an apothecary shop. That it was in China, and it didn't match any known primate, and he knew it was too large. And there was bones that seemed to indicate it was a jaw bones. It seemed to indicate it was bipedal. They can apparently tell by the shape of the jaw.
And like how tall?
8 feet tall. It was an enormous thing. That's what it looked like.
Oh
So
shit.
it's very orangutan
But
like.
that looks like
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
It is Bigfoot. I think that is Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think-
it's easier to believe one of these just happened to still be around
No.
than a totally new creature. I think.
Yes, but no. It's not easy to believe they're still around.
When did they go extinct?
They went extinct somewhere around 100,000 years ago.
I don't know, man. They find animals sometimes
Let's
that
see
they
what
thought
it
were
says.
extinct.
Like when did they? 9.8 feet. Wow.
God damn.
Okay, 11,700 years ago in southern China. This is what they know, right? So they don't necessarily know that it was 11,700 years ago. It really might have been like 6,000 years ago. They just don't have those bones yet. Mm-hmm. It's all in, like, when they're finding bones of things, you know, they'll, like, if they do, they go, the last bone we found was, you know, this amount old. Mm-hmm. If they find a new one 6 months from now, they do that all the time with, like, they're finding all these new versions of human beings. Like, they found Denisovans. That's a new kind of human that they found. I think they found that in Russia. I want to say that was like 2013 or 2014, but I think they just found another one in China that seems to be different than any other human being they found before too.
That is
So there was
crazy.
multiple versions of human beings, right? There's Neanderthals, there's Homo sapiens, there's a bunch of different versions of us that didn't quite make it.
That's so
And
crazy.
one of them they found was the Hobbit person. They found it in the island of Flores. And there was always talk in like legend of these little furry men, these little tiny men.
Like how tall are we
3 feet tall, man.
Oh, shit.
But they found bones, and then when they found bones, they realized that this thing lived around the same time as human beings, somewhere as recently as they think it was like 10,000 years ago. But that's what they looked like. So they looked like people. They used tools. They probably hunted. They had small brains, and they were tiny and probably covered with fur. And they found multiple bones of these. At first, they thought like maybe that's a deformed human or what is this? But now they're reasonably certain that that's a new type of human being.
It just didn't make it.
Or a new type of higher primate. I don't know if you would even say human being, but a little tiny little weird one. And they think there might still be some of those left in the wild.
Have they given any? I know this is a cross pollination of subjects right now, but has there been any thought as to these smaller bones being related to like aliens per se? Because sometimes they say they're tiny people. Sometimes
I think, well, if you want to subscribe to the idea that human beings have been genetically engineered.
Ooh. Well, that's a much deeper conversation.
Yeah, if you want to subscribe to the idea that human beings have been genetically engineered, because that's one of the parts of UFO folklore. The
I love that.
real nutty ones, they want to say that we were seeded with alien DNA, and so they took these savage lower primates, like the chimpanzee that still exists, right? They took these savage lower primates, and with a specific group of them, they manipulated their DNA to give them creativity, intelligence, the ability to communicate. Doubling of the human brain size over a period of 2 million years, which is...
This is a fun thing to believe.
Yeah,
Why not?
It's the best thing to believe. The most fun is aliens made us. That's the most fun.
That's way more fun than like Amish. You know what I mean? As far as like believing in something.
Well, the Amish,
They can't be the right ones.
they seem happy, which is odd. Oh.
There is something to be said about that.
I think there's like very low instances of autism amongst the Amish, very low instances of mental health disorders. I think like it sucks to say, but I think working hard all the time is really good for people. And I think
absolutely.
physically working hard
It
all
keeps
the
you
time is
focused
good
on
for
something
people.
positive and productive.
Yeah.
But when people get too much time on their hands to think and do absolutely nothing else, I mean, you see what happens.
Yeah, these dudes are out there pulling a wagon with a horse still to this day. Out there making butter and
Never
shit.
seen Netflix.
They look healthy. None of them are fat.
They read.
I mean, you probably should use electricity. It's
Yeah,
pretty
man.
fucking cool.
Because I've seen them in. I'm from Ohio. Like you'll see them in Walmart sometimes. You can't tell, but they're not like, oh.
Are you going through Walmart with a lantern, sir?
No, see that's where I call bullshit. It's like you can't. You got to use all of it or none of it, man.
Right, they pull up in a horse and buggy to Walmart. What?
Yeah. Like, did you? I
Did they
swear,
buy toilet paper there?
That's a damn good point.
That's a good point.
And
'Cause
also, like,
if they just have an outhouse and a stanky butthole, and
I saw one get out of an Uber one time, and I was like,
oh, that's
I don't-
outrageous.
Yeah, I was
That's
like, come on, man,
outrageous.
commit to
you
the
can't
bit.
fly. You can't fly.
No, you can't.
You can't drive. No trains for you, sir.
You familiar with like
No
the
trains.
Rumspringer
What
they
does
do
this
and
guy
everything?
do? He's playing Xbox. Get the fuck
Shut
out of here, bro.
up.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You can't do that, man. You're cheating.
He's playing Amish and Impossible.
This guy's playing a guitar.
Play Guitar Hero.
Oh my god. He's
Banjo
playing
Hero.
guitar. He's playing Guitar Hero. Look, pull in the buggy and then go to Walmart. Get the fuck out of here. Look how they park too. So rude. Taking up multiple
But
spots.
also, the horse it stays. You know,
Yeah, well, the horse is smart.
cute.
It might be tied to the pole.
You
It
ever
might
be,
be tied to the pole.
You ever
Yeah.
you ever be stuck behind one of these on like a two-way road in
No,
the
I-
countryside?
no, I
It's
haven't.
fucking
I
devastating.
think I saw one on the road once when I was going to visit my parents. My parents lived in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania once.
Oh,
And I used to have to drive. When I was driving from New York, I would go through like Pennsylvania. And when you're driving through Pennsylvania, gets rural, sir.
yeah, of
It
course.
gets rural, and there's fucking deer jumping in front of your
Yep.
car everywhere. It's like, But the most disturbing thing about that drive was when you pass by where the cattle are, because the stench in the air
For a couple miles.
I don't know what I was smelling. Whether I was smelling fertilizer or whether I was smelling decay or whether I don't know what I was smelling.
Probably fertilizer. They take all that shit and spread it for miles,
It
man.
smelled so bad.
Yeah.
I could imagine if you were in that town, your nose gets used to it apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't smell it anymore.
Yeah.
But the fucking, what are you breathing in, man?
I mean, it's just toxic.
It has to be. It smelled like death. It's like, oh, what? I don't even know if they use all that same stuff. I mean, this is the 90s. I don't know if they use all that same stuff today.
Did you see any Amish when you were up there?
I think I did. I might be imagining it.
This might be the only group we can kind of shit on.
I
Cause,
think
like,
I
they're
might
not
have
gonna hear
seen it
about
once. I think I might have seen it once and be like, oh, yeah. But I didn't get stuck behind them.
I would just hate to get to heaven and God was like, I'm glad you're here, but like you missed out on so much good shit down there. You heard of OnlyFans? You know?
Well, they are allowed to go nutty before they
Rumspringa.
rejoin. Yeah.
That's got to be a tough decision.
There's a
man.
great documentary on it where they follow these Amish kids and they go party in and have a good time. But, the thing is like when you're used to that life of, toil and work and manners and it's probably like attractive to cut loose, but then you probably feel lost. And they probably know that. That's why they let them go. They're like, we already got them programmed. Like, let them go.
That's a good point. I wonder what the percent is that don't go back.
Let's find that out.
Because if marriage fails at 50%, like that's obviously a huge
Yeah.
decision. It's a lifestyle choice.
Do you know anybody that was ever in a cult?
Not that I know. No.
I know
I don't believe
quite
so.
a few people. I know
Really?
I know quite a few people that were in cults when they were kids.
How dangerous of cults?
There's a lot of different levels of cult.
Yeah.
Like, what is Jehovah's Witness a cult? Is Scientology a cult? Is there's cults that are like,
I mean,
just
like
getting started.
doomsday style.
Well, one of them was. She was told that she was an elder and that she was a prophet. And then when the family left when she was 13, she's like, oh my God, thank God. It was like so much stress thinking I was a prophet.
Now she works at like Rite Aid or some
She
shit.
realized now she's really just a 13-year-old kid, But I was talking to Mark Andreessen, and he was telling me that there's successful cults that are still operating in California, a lot of them. And I'm like, what? So he started like labeling all these different cults that operate still in California. They just managed to keep it together.
With what end goal? Like, what's
I mean,
the goal of a cult?
I
Just
think-
control?
Yeah, I think there's a natural inclination, specifically among males, to dominate a group of people and have them treat you as if you are this wise sage that's completely in tune with the right way to live life, and you're here to teach. And that what you do is you bestow this wisdom upon them, and usually it involves you banging everybody's wife. Usually they all give you all their worldly possessions. They treat you to the finest meals. You eat first, then they eat. You bless them. When you talk, everybody listens, and they really do believe that you're divine. And it happens in like Waco with the Branch Davidians.
I was watching that documentary the other day.
Ooh, that guy. I almost bought his car.
No way. What kind of car is it?
68 Camaro. Fuck. Yeah, I found out it was for sale, and I almost pulled the trigger, but I was like, what am I doing?
What was it going for?
What if ghosts are real?
And you're in the car?
And what if not just ghosts are real, but like the energy of a person's real? That guy was a psycho.
Yeah, because you know what's even crazier? You have the power to start a cult. It would be so fucking easy.
Yeah.
It would be so easy.
I just want to say to the CIA, I have no desire to
He has
ever.
none.
I do not. I like archery. I like playing pool.
I did sign something in the
Telling
lobby while I
jokes.
was waiting for you, actually. What was that? That was a release form?
No, that was the cult admission form.
I'm in.
You're in.
I've been waiting for the
Bro.
Illuminati. I was like, how many followers do I need before I get the Illuminati
We
invite?
bought land in Wyoming. We're good to go.
I was supposed to be there last week, actually. I was supposed to go
Wyoming?
to Jackson Hole. Yeah.
I haven't been.
It was my only week off, and then I went to Chappelle's birthday instead.
It's so pretty up there.
I
man.
want to go so bad.
It's so pretty. Do you watch Yellowstone?
I haven't. I haven't seen a TV show in like a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you watch anything when you're on the road?
Never
Do you watch
really-
YouTube?
I never. No, I really don't have time. It's like you travel, you do the shows, and then when I get done with the shows, I go back to my room and edit for like 2 hours.
Do you find that sometimes gets in the way of writing because
Yeah.
you're not experiencing enough life? Like one of the things, like remember in the 80s, it was like stock material that everybody would talk about: airline seats not moving back, and do not disturb. Nobody listens.
Yeah.
Like it was because that was your life experience. You were always just traveling.
Yeah,
It makes it very unrelatable.
Yeah, because I also, and nobody really knows this because all my clips are about crowd work,
Right.
but like most of my jokes are stories. Like I don't know if I have a joke shorter than like 3 minutes. So with me not really being out there and experiencing a lot of things, I am curious because I'm about to shoot my next special in September. And I'm like, when I start all over build this brand new hour, I'm like, what is going to be the theme of it? Is it going to be about my current state of life? I'm not
Right.
I'm not 100% sure yet. But that's the most fun thing about stand-up is having to start all over and figure
Yeah.
out what this new hour is.
It's very fun. Yeah,
It's scary.
It's very scary. It's just exciting. It's a creative thing, coming up with a new thing. And also you're doing it live in front of people.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of bits where I've done them and they were kind of successful. I'm like, I got to put that one on the shelf for a bit. I got to think about that one because I think
Yeah.
I'm saying some things that I'm not really believing. I'm kind of like pushing it too much. I'm trying to like make it work instead of like reassessing. So let me reassess.
Oh yeah.
Like, you gotta. So it's like it's kind of a fun process because you put it together over time, and at the end you're like, I got it. This is it. This is
Yep.
the right way to say this thing.
And you have to test it in so many different settings as well.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I like last night we've been doing this tour for the better part of this year, and we're in these amazing theaters from like 1,500 to like 6,000, which is incredible. But sometimes you have to remember that's not always real stand up. Like I had
Yeah.
for some new shit that I'm working on for the upcoming special. I popped in at a couple local spots here last night where it was like 25 people at the first one and like 30 at the next one. And I was
Perfect.
like, I missed this.
Yeah,
This is where you see if jokes work.
Yeah, little crowds like the Belly Room at the Comedy Store is the best.
Yeah.
It's like a little truth serum. You feel the grossness of a fake. Like the way you're phrasing something, you feel like you're not connected to
Yeah,
it or
you're
whatever.
like, this isn't how a comedian would say this.
Well, not even a comedian would say this. You're not attached to it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You can't just present in front of 25 people. You got to be there with them. You got to really be
absolutely.
locked in.
Yeah.
And they know it.
Oh, they can
Because if
spot-
you're up there, I've noticed the other day. like,
Yeah.
you could do that in a large crowd of 3,000 people because there's this like sort of weird disconnect.
Yeah, it's more performance based than anything like that.
It's a different feel. It's a
That's
different
why
feel.
I wanted to do all these theaters right after like leaving the comedy clubs, like because obviously agents go, well, the numbers we're doing, we could.
Yeah.
What stadiums do you want to do? I was like,
Right.
dude, can I get used to a theater first? Because it's
Right.
a totally different performance.
It's a different timing for sure. Yeah, you got to hold laughs longer. And
Yeah.
also, I realized once I went to watch Lewis Black, and we were doing the same place the next night, and we got there early, and Joey and I went across the street, and it was like right there. And so we were sitting in the audience, and when he was killing, when he got with big laughs, he would occasionally have a tag that he would hit that I didn't hear because so many people were laughing. And I was like, oh, wow, that's something to take into consideration because I didn't think about that because we were like in like probably the 30th row back and it was a pretty big theater. And so the roars were really loud. Like when he was killing, it was really loud. So as the laughter and then he was like, bah, 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 bah. And I didn't know what he said. And I'm like, oh, you can't hear because you got to wait. Like
Yeah.
for certain tags, you can't hit them like a comedy club.
No.
Like bang, bang, bang. The laughter, the loudness of the laughter when you're in the midst of it, it's too loud.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I got so lucky. I was able to be on the show with one of Chappelle's birthday shows at MSG this past
Yeah,
week. And
I saw that.
I'd never been to a stadium before. I'd never even been to Madison Square Garden. So I don't know that I've really been to a stadium. No, I've been to a Clippers game in my life. That's it. But I've never performed anything that big. And like my first couple of jokes up there, I realized I stepped on the laughs like probably 5 times.
Yeah.
Because you literally have to go na 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 na. Like the laughs take so much longer to get to you.
Yeah, 15,000 people is another level up above theaters.
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
the positive energy when the
Yeah.
joke does hit, fuck.
The biggest place I ever did with Dave and I did 25,000 people in Tacoma, Washington. That was bananas.
25,000?
It was bananas. Yeah, it was
What was
so
the venue?
fun. Goggins was there for that one.
No way.
Yeah. It was the Tacoma Dome.
Tacoma Dome. That's a
Yeah.
sick name.
It was dope. And we did it in the round too. It was bonkers. The laughs are just like, what is this? When you hit a big punchline and the whole place just falls out, you're like, holy shit.
I haven't done In the Round yet. I don't know if I'd like it.
It's great.
Is it?
It's intimate. It's weirdly intimate.
Oh, I would like that then.
The thing is, you're really in there with the people as opposed to a theater. See, the thing about, if you're doing an arena and it doesn't have a round, the thing is, like, you have this big ass stage and you're above everybody, and there's like a gap, and then so there's the stage, which is you, and then there's them. But when you're in the round, then it's everyone in a circle. So people are looking at people. Everyone's in there together.
I didn't think about that.
Everyone's
They're
in there
looking across
together.
at each other.
And we're all feeding off each other, and everybody's having a good time. So everyone's laughing, and it's fun, and you're wandered around. So it's playful. You're wandered around this big circle. It's great.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to try
I love it.
I'm gonna have to
It's
try
my
it.
favorite way to do big places.
That's
By
incredible.
far. I don't like doing them the other way. The other way, it just feels like I want to be out there with you guys. I don't want to be like up here.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
I also feel bad for somebody sitting so fucking
Yeah.
far away in an arena.
Well, usually they have big screens too.
But that's not what you're there for. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
you're there also just like the experience of experiencing it with a lot of people there. You know?
Yeah.
Like there's a thing about experiencing things with a lot of people. Like I saw Guns N' Roses in Greece.
No
I saw
way.
Guns N' Roses
I saw
in
that photo.
Athens. It was so dope. But it was just the feel of all those people having a good time. There's like just this wave of fun and positive feeling that's like in the air that I think people, it's like that thing that I was saying, that there's things in the world that you can't measure, but they're real, and we seek them out. You know, we seek out these weird moments where people collectively can experience something at the same time.
I love that like psychological sync up of there's just something contagious of being in the middle of a crowd of people enjoying themselves that just
Yeah.
takes so you want to enjoy yourself as well.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
It's contagious. Laughter for sure is.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
But fun is too. You know, it's good times are contagious. You know, and so are bad times.
That's a good book name.
Yeah, good times are contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Sounds like
are,
it's a
though.
book on STDs though. Never mind. We take it back. Never mind. Fuck.
Yeah. It's just it's a weird aspect of being a person. You know, we have this like stupid myth of the loner, you know, like, you know, I like to be by myself. Like that's not good.
No.
That's not normal.
Somebody's
now and
made to
again.
be that way, I think.
Every now and again, it's good to be by yourself. But when I think about loners, I think of like Ted Kaczynski. I think of like the Unabomber or some
Yeah.
fucking psycho out there laying bear traps
No,
in the middle of
dude.
Montana.
You have to laugh or you will go fucking insane.
I think people need people too. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a good thing to be by yourself too much. I think that's one of the things that really freaked everybody out about the pandemic. When everything got locked down and people were terrified and they were in their homes for months and months at a time without any interaction with other people. When they finally did see people, they didn't know how to behave. They were weirded out. Everybody was scared.
Yeah. It was so uncomfortable.
It was so weird. It was
Do
so
you-
weird. It was such a mind fuck.
When you tour, do you travel with a lot of people?
No.
No?
No.
Because that's like the most specific thing I've been trying to build with the tour I'm on right now is I wanted to make sure I surrounded myself with people who were going to make all of this journey positive and fun for me.
If you have a lot
Because
of
you need people. Not a lot of people, but
If
the
you have-
right people.
Well, yeah. Look, good people. I travel with good people that I know, like comics that I know, people that I know. Yeah, but sometimes people get entourages.
I won't understand. It's just
Oh
chaos.
My God. Not only that, there's always problems. There's always
Yeah.
the guy that's late. There's always the guy that's a mooch. There's always a guy that does this. There's always a guy that's trying to get you to fucking go in on some liquor deal with him.
Or CBD.
I know guys who have fucking entourages, and when I run into the entourage, it's like there's a few of them that are really cool. Well, there's a few of them that are just, you know, like you got a lot of people around you, man. This is a lot of things to manage. Like, what do you like this? Some people like it though. They like rolling deep, you know, 2-3 SUVs filled
No,
with folks.
dude.
A lot
I
of
also
guys
don't love
do.
going out.
out afterwards?
Yeah, dude. I mean, every city we go to is like, hey, this club wants to host you for a free night of whatever, and I'm like, dude, I not only need but want sleep.
Yeah, but you can't get it, so we'll stay out. You
I
can't get
definitely
sleep.
wouldn't get it if
maybe
I went
if
out.
you went out, maybe that's what's the key to you getting some sleep. Go out,
You're an
do a little
instigator.
partying. Dun, dun, dun. Do you drink?
No, not really.
Not at all.
At like for an occasion.
Does
yeah.
that put you out?
No, because I'm a tequila guy,
Oh,
which is kind of that upper a little bit.
is that real?
I think it is. I always do feel like I have a little bit more
We've
energy.
Googled that before, haven't
Is
we?
that a myth? Yeah. Is that a myth?
It's alcohol.
It's alcohol. But isn't there some sort of an effect that's different because is tequila? It seems different.
It's clear. That's the different. That's the one difference that we did dig into. Like it's clear. It doesn't have additives. It's probably the most pure. And any of those impurities are things that can cause hangover.
I mean, I'm not a fan of any of it. I hate all alcohol. I don't enjoy any of it. It tastes fucking terrible. It's not good for you.
All those things are true, but I like it.
What's your drink?
I like a whiskey.
Oh yeah, you're a
I like
grown fucking
An
man.
American whiskey on the rocks.
I can't.
I like
handle
that
it.
taste. I like the woo.
You like
I
suffrage?
like it. It's not suffering. No, it's like yeah. That's what it's
You
like.
don't
it's like,
have to.
whoa.
Like, you can also enjoy.
I enjoy that too. I like fucking Gatorade. Shit. I like a lot of things. When I drink Gatorade, I never go woo.
You don't
But if
smoke
I
ci-
drink
you don't,
Buffalo Trace, I'll drink Buffalo Trace and go.
you don't. You don't smoke cigarettes, do you?
I have smoked cigarettes before comedy shows. Yeah.
Oh really? Does it just
Yeah.
calm you down?
No, it lights me up. Lights my brain up.
Really?
Yeah.
Never could do it. My parents were heavy smokers.
Yeah.
And
I like
I think I put
cigars.
it off.
Well, it's a very dangerous habit, and even
Mm.
I think about that when I do shows. Sometimes, like I limit myself to one or two, because if I feel like I start liking it and I start smoking all the time, fuck that. That's terrible for you. It's terrible for you to just do. You know, supposedly those American spirits are better because it's just tobacco, but all of it is like burning leaves in your lungs,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem to like. Marijuana does not seem to have the same health problems with people's lungs, unless
No.
you're probably a chronic marijuana smoker. Because you got to think, how much of the paper are you smoking? Because you're not just smoking the leaf, and especially if you're rolling blunts. I know a lot of
Not a
guys
blunt guy.
who love blunts, and they're smoking blunts all day long. So you're taking in a lot of tobacco.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tobacco on top of the weed.
You ever do the pens?
Yeah, I
the
do
weed pens?
vape
I mean,
pens.
that can't be good for you, right? Like, that is just chemical, isn't it?
Well, it's definitely chemicals, right? It depends on how they manufacture them, but it's different kinds of oils. I know some of them do it with like MCT oil, which is like food grade oil.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's like strict standards on that stuff. As far as like, and where are you getting them made? You getting them made here? Are you shipping those bitches to China? Like, how are you? Who's making these things?
Yeah, they're $7. They can't be made here.
well,
They're too accessible.
they probably can't they probably can't import the actual cannabis. So I bet they actually do make it here. Now that I think about it, that makes sense that they probably do make it here. They probably would have to make it here. But do they make the pens here, like the ones that explode and go through people's brains?
Oh, is that a real thing? I thought that was a
don't
myth. I
know.
thought that happened one time.
I
And like
don't
all of them
know.
do it.
There was this one where this guy had this like thing lodged in his head in the X-ray. I'm like, is that real? I want to believe it's real.
Because the vape exploded?
Yeah, like a rocket. But that doesn't even make sense.
I can't. Yeah,
It doesn't make
what
sense that it would have
mechanism would
that.
make
It seems like it
fucking
would just
fire?
blow out. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it would propel forward
No.
with the kind of thrust that would be required to enter your brain.
Yeah, it's not a musket.
Right. It's not a cannon. Bring us back to the cannon days. Just think about that, man. Wooden boats shooting iron balls at each other.
I mean, take it back more centuries when you had to be in a knight.
Vaping can seriously damage your health. E-cigarette exploded in teenager's mouth, breaking his jaw and blowing out teeth because of his botched do-it-yourself hacks. Oh, God, this kid. He was in Russia. Of course it was in Russia. These wild
this
people.
makes sense.
Did you see the picture before I scrolled up?
He was
I
9
did
years
not.
old.
It's gnarly.
Oh, let me see.
We want to see it?
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
my
Oh, it blew his face apart. Oh, God damn it. Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
I wasn't sure if that's the same one you saw, but that sounded close.
Blew his face apart.
It said the e-cigarette company, I believe it said, oftentimes the problem isn't the pen, it's the people who use it. Man, the most gaslighting shit I've ever read.
Yeah, the guy was probably the one who caused the accident.
Yeah. He
That-
made it explode.
We had Peter Berg on the other day, and he was talking about the opioid crisis because he created that series Painkiller on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking incredible. But it's about the Sackler family and how they created this. And one of the things that they did was when people got hooked on OxyContin, they had like a policy of hammering the abuser, go after them. They're drug addicts, like shame them. So that's what they would do. They're like, oh, he was a drug addict. This person was a drug. It has nothing to do with whether or not our drug is addictive.
Our addictive drug.
He's a drug addict, and so that's what they did. That was their gaslighting.
But you can't be a drug addict without the drugs. So
I know, but they
drugs
just
are
made,
the problem.
If you can make someone think that someone else is a drug addict, that's a shameful thing. Oh, he's a drug addict. Yeah. It's shameful, and so they shame the abusers.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's typical corporate gaslighting. They like to do stuff like that. It's fun. Change the narrative.
Yeah,
Get
look
that
at
Russian troll farm involved.
I-
Start going after those drug addicts. Those damn drug addicts are the problem. It's not the pills. I take mine on a regular basis. I have had zero problems. And in fact, I had to go off before surgery, and I had no problem whatsoever. I did it the way the doctor told me to. The FDA is smarter than you. I hope you know.
I can see this written on Twitter already.
Yeah.
I have another social media theory to go along with these troll farms.
Okay.
So you know how there's a new TikTok dance every week?
I've
Some new
heard about these things.
Oh, same. As much as I post on TikTok, I don't fucking watch anything. It's the thing I'm most proud of.
It's good for you.
But anyways, there's always something trending. Every single week there's some new dance that every girl from 11 years old to 40-year-old is doing, right? But to my recollection, at least up until 2015, if somebody came up with a dance, the Dougie, the Cat Daddy, that person was famous for making that dance a thing, right? Everybody knew who that was.
Yeah.
There's never an originator of these dances, and I have a theory that TikTok does AI dances of trends that they push out to people's streams and go, and then everybody goes, oh, this is the trend. I have to do that now. Because there's never a person taking credit for, I was the first person to fucking do whatever this shit is. That never happens. I think it's AI infiltrated trends. I don't believe they're really created by people.
Well, TikTok is a genius company. If you want to look at it from a perspective of how effective it is. And it's interesting because, I had Adam Curry on. Do you know what Adam Curry is?
No.
He's the original podcaster.
Okay.
He's podcaster #1. And he has a different theory than a lot of most people that I talk to say TikTok is dangerous. It's like tracking all your information and everything you do online. But his theory is they're all doing that. And what they don't like is that this Chinese company is eating their lunch. This Chinese company has figured out a way to have the most addictive out of all of these social media sites. TikTok's the most addictive. And he's saying, look, if you don't think that they're all tracking your shit on a regular basis, they're definitely doing that. And they're probably using your microphone. There's a weird coincidence that pops up all the time where you're talking about something and then you see ads for it. That's weird.
Did you watch Social Dilemma?
Yes, I did.
Crazy.
I had the guy who did it, Tristan Harris, come in and talk about it. It's
terrifying.
It's a terrifying thing, and it's we're interacting with something that we're not designed for.
Yeah.
We evolved to experience natural things, animals, wildlife, beautiful scenery. That's why we react to those things. That's part of what we are. And now all of a sudden we're locked into this thing that we don't have any reference of history for. There's no back in the 1800s when high-speed internet first was available, there was a lot of confusion. A lot of propaganda got pushed by various nations until mind reading became available. And then it made lying impossible. That's literally what we probably need to get out of this mess. We need mind reading. We need mind reading. We need to make lying impossible. And we got to get to it before they have complete and total control of your money. We got to do it before people agree to a centralized digital currency that's attached to a social credit score system. If we can get to mind reading before that, then people will uprise and then they'll realize okay, this is outrageous. Like, this is not how the world's supposed to be run. And if it's ubiquitous, like if the whole world has mind reading software, it makes all the other stuff very difficult. I mean, you could somehow or another force compliance, but it's going to be very difficult to do that with all the soldiers in sync now. It's going to be very difficult to like lead armies where people are going to know what your actual intentions are. And they're going to know that this is motivated by money and that this report that you've brought in front of Congress about the movement of these terrorists and the dangers of their weapons of mass destruction, we're going to know it's not true. So it's going to end wars.
Do you have any idea how mean it is to bring guests on the show, get them so high, and then talk about the worst possible realistic outcomes of this world?
I don't know if it's the worst possible.
I have to go build a fucking bunker after this and get all my cash in gold immediately.
No, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. It's just this is a different life. And we have to adapt on the fly. This is where we live in a different life. This is a different life than any human being that we are aware of has ever lived in.
When would you have liked to have lived?
I like this time right now.
Really?
Yeah, this is what I'm accustomed to. I enjoy it.
How old are you?
56.
What year were you born?
1967.
I would have liked to have been born in like 62.
Really?
Grow up through the 70s, enjoy the 80s as a young adult, 90s become a real adult, start a family, and then learn all this stuff later. I don't like being a part of this generation at all.
Well, that's kind of what I did. I mean, I became an adult human before the internet. And then the internet came around, and I first got on it when I was 27. That was the first time I went to CompUSA,
Wow.
and I bought a little Apple computer, and it was hooked up to like a 14.4 modem, and you had to dial up to get online. It was like,
Oh, I remember. Yeah. I'm so lucky to have got to witness that.
it was so slow. Like, it was CompUSA. You'd go on to like these. What was the one website that everybody used that went away? AOL.
America Online, yeah.
America Online. You've got mail. And you'd get an email. You're so excited. Like, oh my God, someone wrote me. And you'd like write your friends. Like, this is crazy. I'm writing letters to my friends.
I read something about you and the internet, and I'm curious if it's true. Is
What?
it true you used to spend like tens of thousands of dollars on high-speed internet to play a video game better?
I spent a lot of money having a T1 line installed in my
Shut
house.
the fuck up.
Yeah.
To play what?
To play Quake.
What is Quake?
Quake is an amazing 3D online deathmatch game where you're running around with like rocket launchers and rail guns, and you're running through these mazes, and you're fighting other people that are on your screen in like real time. You've never heard of Quake? It's a 3D shooter. Show them some Quake 3 Arena.
You're the scariest nerd I've ever met. dude.
I've been meaning to not tell you, sort
What?
of. They just remastered Quake 2. So it's like it's just came out like a week ago.
Oh, my
and
God.
new like HD,
Oh,
4K.
I've
God,
never seen
look how
this.
good it looks. Oh my God, it looks so good. So this was the game I really started with, was Quake 2. The
There's,
original
there's
game.
new levels too. They made new stuff for it.
But the thing about this game is not really the levels. The thing about this game is deathmatch.
Right. Well,
What was Deathmatch?
I imagine
Deathmatch
they
is
have that.
one-on-one
Oh.
or team versus team. Like, you're on a team with four. Like, what you could do is you would jump on a server online, and you would look to join a team. Like, say if you're playing Rocket Arena, you could find a server and you could just join a team.
Okay.
And then once the teams were filled, the game would start. Game begins in 3, 2, 1, and then you got like your side is like one color and the other side is green, and you're running through this fucking maze looking for the enemy and trying to acquire like weapons and all these different things. But this is the game. This is Quake 3 Arena. And so it's these wild graphics.
This looks fun.
It's
It's
fun
very
as fuck,
very early
dude.
2000s. I love
Give me
the
some
graphics.
volume so you can hear it. So you hear things too. You hear your footsteps and you're
water.
running through here, and then you find the people and you're duking it out. And when you hit them, it makes that boom.
Oh, I love that.
Oh shit! So now he's got to get the health. Give me some health. Give me some armor.
Flashbacks.
I
got
can
some
see getting
armor.
addicted to this.
Oh fuck yeah, you can. I'm getting it right now. It's so fun, and this dude's good. So this dude who's playing here, he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, they're
Now
going
he's got a
one-on-one.
rocket launcher. Oh shit! Now motherfuckers are about to die. Look at that. Now he's got to get some armor.
And your internet speed would depict how quick your movements were and everything, how crisp you could play the game.
Yes, it's the lag is the big one. Like how close you are to the server. That's a very important thing. And how good your internet connection. Look how good this guy is. This guy's a killer. So these kids who play this game, and maybe even adults, they get so damn addicted that they learn all the maps inside and out. So they know all the moves on the maps. Like there's certain places where you can hop from one ledge to another ledge, and you could camp and stand there.
Yeah.
When they come through the doorway, you blast them. There's all sorts of like weird, sneaky little tricks in these games.
Oh, that is so cool.
These people get really good at it.
I was curious if that was true.
So addictive. It was so addictive. I had a quick cold turkey. And then we built a LAN room at our old studio in L.A., and I had a quick cold turkey again.
Same
it got
game?
too crazy, yeah. Quake, the new version of it. What is the online called? Quake Champions?
That's the one they're playing. Yeah, they're still.
So
They just had
this
the
is-
oh, wow.
championship, and this guy Rafa, he's been the man in this game for
Forever.
A few years. Yeah.
So these guys are like top of the. Give me some volume.
Nothing has really worked
Watch the
out.
best guy.
You think you're this big burly scale that can then just go in and bully the frags away.
Look at
and you
that
see
commentary.
players
Like it's a
Dude.
sport.
and then
Amazing.
what happens, your opponent's up by 4.
I will say I don't get it.
Keep at it, and it's-
I don't
it is
get
the
watching other
if
people
it
play
works
video
out
games.
well,
Well,
what a
because you
great
play it. So if you
defensively.
play the game, you know the game, and you know how hard it is, and you know what he's doing is so impressive.
But you just cannot let
Is
Here,
it?
lower their volume.
Rafa have too many free
It's like golf or other sports.
yes.
If you don't get the sport, you won't like watch.
It's one like for me because I play it. This is very intriguing.
Like, it just feels like video games are something that if you play it enough, anybody can get good at it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of like fast thinking, hand-eye
Yeah, that's
coordination.
very true. That is very
You have
true.
to practice your aim. There's a lot going on. There's different weapons behave in different ways. They're studying the maps and strategy.
I mean, it's
Look how he's
just
fucking that dude up. Woo!
I can't imagine sitting down and watching this when like there's Pornhub. You know what I mean?
Once you jerk off, then you go right back to it.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Two things can be true. You're right.
Look how this guy's doing this. This is genius, man.
He's really good.
It's so fast paced. Is this
Yes.
video sped up, or is this how quickly he plays the game?
this is how quick the game is.
That's very
one of the things
impressive.
that's exciting about it, because it requires you to really think quickly and move quickly, and you're changing weapons.
And the guy he's playing can't kill him either. He's up 8-0 right now.
Yeah,
and
he's
that's
fucking that dude
frustrating
up.
for the other guy.
And the guy, every time he spawns, he's got no energy. Or rather, no weapons. He's just got a
Oh.
bullshit standard gun that you're not going to kill this guy with. 'cause
So the
this guy's-
longer you live, you get
Right.
more powerful.
Well, the longer you traverse the map and accumulate all the different armor and shit. So this guy, every time he fucks that dude up, he gets some of his armor. He's getting the super health. So all these things, look at that. Oh, he's fucking that
Yeah,
dude
spoiler,
up.
he
Oh, he got
wins.
killed.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy's really good.
He's really good. But that's what it is. It's like you get and it's so exciting. It's
I
so
can
much
see
more
that.
exciting than literally anything else that's a game.
More than Halo? People
I've
love
never
Halo.
played Halo.
I've
I
never
don't play
played it
Halo.
either.
But it's kind of the same sort of thing. It's a first-person shooter,
Mm.
right? And you're running around. Isn't Halo first person or is it third person?
Yep, first
yeah.
person.
So those things are just super, super addictive.
I think the
Yeah.
chat rooms would be addictive. People say the meanest, craziest
Oh, they go
shit.
crazy.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
insane.
They go crazy on those online
They actually
games.
just made an announcement about that. That's going to change. You get something like 8 strikes, which I don't know exactly how they're going to count those, but they have AI listening now, so all those game chats are being recorded. I don't know where they're being stored.
shit.
And if you start talking shit, they're going to start striking you down, and you have to take a break for a year or something. they're saying.
Oh my
Good.
god.
Good.
Well, they're just gonna sign back on
Yeah,
through
for
a
sure,
fucking
yeah.
VPN.
Your
or the
new
whole-
email
yeah,
address, whatever
wear
it
a
is.
mask.
But
Yeah,
still,
wear a fake nose.
causes that much
Yeah.
problem,
Fuck out
I
of
guess.
here.
Change the
You're not gonna
pronouns.
stop. You're not gonna stop these junkies. These people are
No, it's
straight
bad.
up
It's still
junkies.
bad. It has
Trash
never
talking
changed. Yeah, that's
kings.
as racist as it can be, and all of it.
This is so funny. People aren't good. It's so funny.
Well, they definitely like to be naughty.
Oh, the things people will say when people can't see who's saying it.
Yeah, people like to be naughty.
It's impressive, dude.
Well, it's like you feel like you're protected. You're in Sweden or you're in fucking Montana. You're on the internet. It's a fake name. You know, you're super killer, 69, whatever, and you're out there fucking people up. And
I wanted to do like a modern troll version of Bully Beatdown. Remember that show?
oh yeah,
Where like you use the same technology and sources they use for like catfish. You know how they do all this research to really find the person. So say you're talking shit to fucking Sugar Sean, right? Like you're like this constant troll. You're always talking about what a trash fighter he is. We team up with Sean. We do the research. We find out where this dude really is, and we go, you said you could beat him up, or a 15-year-old girl could beat him up. It's like a dozen times. So we're going to offer you an amount of money to put your money where your mouth is, but he also gets the chance to whoop your ass.
yeah. The guy's gonna go. I didn't really mean that.
Of course, but then he
I was
looks.
just talking
But then at least
shit.
he looks like a bitch in front of everybody.
But he's gonna have to sign the waiver. That's where it's. You gotta
that's
give
where
him enough money.
The money has to be worth it. Yeah. But the
Yeah.
thing is, they're not gonna fucking win.
You know, I always wondered that about cops. Like, how do they have to sign? They have to sign waivers, right, on the show Cops.
Yeah, remember, so Cops does, but I told you that show that's been going on, it was called Live P. It's called something else now. They have a weird workaround because it's live on TV, streaming for 3 hours a night, and it's like they always say they're following me. Don't worry about them. The cops are doing a documentary about us, not you.
Oh.
And I guess that's the loophole, just sort of like it's a prank calls in Vegas kind of thing.
That's hilarious.
Man, can you imagine just being that fucked up? That you're like, yeah, I still want to see the tape back when I get out of jail.
Well, you're on meth and your fucking pants are down by your ankles and you're on TV. There's a light in your face and there's piss all over your pants. And you're like, huh? Why were you driving that car? I don't know.
Oh man, I'm not.
You're on meth. You're like, I'm just trying to get home. Shit.
I'm not built for jail, dude. I hope I never go.
Why am I awake? And then they offer you like $500.
You're like,
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
And you just sign away, and next thing you know, you're Travis. Was you on TV pissing your pants? Were you doing meth and codeine again? I don't fucking know. Why am I on TV? Those poor people, man.
But they've got
It's
the highlight
such-
tape forever, you know?
It's such exploitation. Do you remember when Steven Seagal had a show like that?
I remember hearing about it. I never saw it.
Bro.
Was
it
he like his own
amazing.
dog, the bounty hunter?
Tom Segura had a whole bit about it. Tom Segura became obsessed with Steven Seagal at one point in time.
It's in his
fun.
first special, right? Or the second one?
Well, I forget which one, but Steven Seagal, he was like a cop, like an actual cop.
Like he went through the academy and everything?
I don't know.
The lawman.
The lawman. So I
was
don't know.
called
Maybe
the
they
lawman.
deputized him. I don't know how that fucking worked. But Steven Seagal was hanging out with these cops in Louisiana in Jefferson Parish. And he started taking on a Louisiana accent.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It was amazing. See if you can find video of him talking. He's a fucking character, that guy. So imagine you're a kid, and maybe you're selling crack or whatever, and you get pulled over by fucking Steven Seagal. Like,
You've got to think it's punk.
and he's actually got a real gun, and he might shoot you, and there's cameras there. You're like, what is
Dude.
going on? Am I in a movie? Like, you would think you're in a movie.
I would do that. I would do something like this.
Imagine that, like, you're a kid and you're in a bad. You grow up in a bad neighborhood. You're 17. This is the first time you ever met anybody famous.
Uh-huh.
You're getting arrested by him.
Steven Seagal.
It's the fucking guy from Above the Law. Everybody's seen Above the Law.
Yeah, how can you possibly take this serious? Also,
Bruh.
if they start roughing you up, you're going to be kind of pissed off that Steven Seagal is just allowed to touch you like this.
They're gonna tase him. Everybody off, so they're tasing the guy.
Put him against the car.
So what does this guy have? Crack? What is it? A mask?
carjacking.
Oh, carjacking.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Extremely high-speed pursuit. He jumps out the car with a .270 Winchester rifle. Bolt
Damn.
action.
They have a beautiful way of talking.
Yeah.
People from Louisiana.
He was taken down.
I would probably start talking like that if I moved there. I would
My-
adopt it.
My opener's from Louisiana.
It's a
from New
beautiful way
Orleans.
of talking. It's like there's a flow to it, There's
It's
like
beautiful. It's wholesome.
It sounds good. There's a cool flow to it.
It makes you feel safe. I
Yeah.
don't feel in danger when somebody from Louisiana talks to me.
Oh, yeah, I'd feel in danger if I was tied up and they were talking to me like that.
Well, yeah.
Matt,
If
Rob,
you-
you've made
if anybody ties me up, they're gonna sound
terrible error.
I'm gonna be murdered or raped.
All the above.
Wow.
Depending on how they're feeling, which one starts first. You know?
Again, not built for prison.
Did
You
you
ever
ever
watch that
see
show,
that-
like 60 Days In?
60 Days in Prison? No.
Is it 60 Days In? Is that the
Something
name
like
of it?
that.
It might be 30. I think it's 60. Where it's like they send regular people into jail, like usually like a county jail or something like that, or a state jail, I guess, if that's a thing.
Oh my God.
They send them in as actors
Oh my God.
to try to like infiltrate, like, you know, who's bringing the drugs in,
Oh
who are the
my God.
kingpins in here. And look, bro, some of them rise in the ranks within like a week. It's impressive, but also so insulting and so dangerous.
Super fucking dangerous.
And sometimes,
unless it's
sometimes they
fake.
get compromised. No, sometimes they get compromised. Like once the prisoners figure out, they'll be like, because some of the prisoners have heard about the show, so sometimes they'll be interviewing the prisoners. The prisoners will be like, yeah, I think he's on. I think he's from that show, 60
What?
Days In,
One
or
of them's
whatever.
a cop. It said he was like watching behaviors of other officers. This guy volunteered to join his father in the program.
Wow. Substitute
watched this
teacher,
season.
electrician. The cop is an interesting one. He entered the program to observe the behaviors of the corrections officers. Maybe he heard there's some abuse going on.
This guy was a
Yeah,
gang member.
people can just volunteer.
Wow.
To see what it was like. This guy's a martial arts trainer.
Wow.
Brought his son with him to show what it was like in prison. Yeah, this guy has family members in there. It's a lady. She wanted to see what it was like for them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Former gang member? Wow.
It's impressive. They go in there and they really live with these people, and they get information. Some dudes rise to ranks of being like the head of the cell block, and then at the end of the 60 days, get to go, gotcha.
Are these like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Are these like minimum security? Like, are they going to
probably?
They're not
It's
sending
not.
them to,
It's
like,
not
Sing
prison.
Sing.
It's jail,
Jail.
still.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Which I mean, is still dangerous. I mean, you
Fuck
see a
it.
fight on
Yeah,
every
it
fucking
is.
episode.
Oh my God.
It's so the geniuses that are in jail is
This first guy,
concerning.
season 6. He's a super fan, and he's a big
I remember that
gamer,
guy.
and wanted to see if he could just try it out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Spoiler alert on that one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, does it not work out?
Pretty early.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the average person wouldn't do well in there.
No, there's people who the first day when they're getting checked in and they're just like in that cold cell with everybody else while they're getting all their paperwork and shit done because
Yeah.
they book you like an actual inmate. You do the entire process.
Wow.
And some people break in there. They just get the pressure. They be like, you know, they tell themselves things, but like, I feel like somebody's looking at me, like they're on to me. They already know I'm a fake. 'Cause, I mean, if these prisoners find out you're a fake, like they're gonna murder you because you know all their secrets.
Especially when you're sleeping.
Oh
You
yeah,
have to sleep around them.
yeah.
That's where like your way of sleeping would like really come in handy.
Oh, bro,
You could be up for
I might
days.
run shit
You
in
might
prison,
run
dog.
shit. You'd have all that time to think.
I gotta figure out who's gonna be my boyfriend, but
Right.
I'm up all night.
You figure it out.
Might as well cash in.
You figure it out, man. You start a cult in prison.
Has anybody not done that yet?
I bet they have.
Had to have.
Had to have. Had to have.
That's also one of the scariest places to investigate a prison, dude.
Well, there's a lot of con men that go to jail. And if you're a con man like a Manson, like you let that guy in the general population, he'll
Oh
start
my
a cult.
God! Yeah,
Did
he's
you watch
so
the show
confident in
Blackbird yet?
himself.
No.
On Apple TV?
No.
Have you seen it?
No, what is
No.
that?
Very good. It's based on a true story. It's a dude like almost like you're describing. He's a badass hustler, can run shit really fast. They find out about it, like, hey, we'll give you a chance to get out of here. He's in for like 10 years plus, 15 years maybe for drugs and stuff. He has to go get a serial killer to confess where the bodies are hidden, and they can't get anybody to break this guy. And it's just about that. Like, that's what the episodes are all about.
Oh,
Shit.
who's in that?
It's really good. Taron Egerton.
Egerton? Oh, he's really good.
And then the guy who played like Richard Jewell in the Richard Jewell
Oh.
movie, and he's the Olympic Park Bomber too. And that
That
is
guy's
Richard
great.
Jewell.
Who is
I
that
forgot- I
guy?
don't know his name off the top of my head.
Find it. Give that guy his propers.
He's really good in it too.
Some people are just really good talkers.
Yeah.
They can talk themselves in or out of anything.
It's scary, isn't it?
Oh yeah, into anything around any group of people, and can tell a checkable lie,
Yeah.
and just can commit so hard to it.
His
Yeah.
name is Paul Walter Hauser. Is the actor's name.
What's it called again?
The
Blackbird.
show's called Blackbird. Here's the.
Well, when I get to watch a TV show again.
Oh, you said you don't watch TV. Sorry. There's the This is him getting arrested.
He gets the Jamie seal of approval.
Yeah, and then this guy's he's just like a crazy. I forget exactly I don't know if it's like,
Oh, I like that guy.
children or whatever, but they think he's got bodies buried somewhere. This guy's it's really good.
And this guy has to get close to him.
Yeah,
Wow.
they approach
That's-
him about it.
That's the scary shit, right? Like the guy in Long Island Wife had no idea he's out there killing prostitutes for several decades.
Oh, dude. I mean, serial killer stuff is so fascinating to me.
So fascinating.
And how you can just live your life normally.
And they get away with it. Some of them, like the Zodiac Killer, they never caught that guy. He got away with it.
Man. I thought they caught him. He's still out there?
I believe.
They never found him?
I believe they never caught the Zodiac Killer. I'm pretty sure.
I'm fascinated by John Wayne Gacy's stuff.
Ugh.
It's fascinating.
Okay.
It's because it's such an insane level of psychosis.
Dressing up like a clown.
It's
and
so
killing
terrifying.
kids. Yeah.
And just burying them under the house.
Never caught.
Fuck.
Never caught the Zodiac
Wow.
Killer. Yeah.
That's part of what.
The official investigation remains open. Public interest has remained high. Countless theories have gained traction over the years, pointing a finger at various men who share physical markers or specific interests with the famed killer.
They did crack the code though, but
They did?
I don't think they know who he is. So
AI was like, I could get that quick.
that's what I thought it was.
Why
Actually,
did it take so
I'm not
much
sure.
time for you dummies?
Yeah, they
Oh,
caught-
what does it say? It's been reportedly revealed.
Oh, no.
Let's see what it says here. DNA points to an Air Force veteran. According to independent investigation agency, their information is solid. DNA evidence. Interesting. Is the guy still alive or is he dead?
Huh.
Inaccurate says that tweet.
Inaccurate.
I don't know.
So what is the community notes on the tweet
Yeah,
says inaccurate? Can we
correct.
click on those? What does it say? Also, code break. Okay, it says misleading tweet title inaccurate. Attached article states the FBI denies case is closed. Article states author has cited a whistleblower, not FBI identification. Read tweets linked article. Also, case breakers group making claims, not FBI. Okay, so it's not that the FBI said that this case is closed. So it's a theory.
Didn't they catch Richard Ramirez from his shoes?
Did they?
Yeah, I think they found his shoe print.
You know what's most fucked up about guys like that? They go to jail and then women want to marry them.
Why is that?
I think it's some ancient primal instinct that some women have to be connected to killers.
What?
Yeah.
Like, do they see it as a power?
I mean, I wonder. There's probably like legitimate psychologists like Jordan Peterson can answer this much more accurately. But I would imagine there's something, because it's such a forbidden thing to do, to kill people. If someone just kills people all the time, there's probably some bizarre attraction that some mentally ill people have to someone like that. That's probably based on, it's probably based on DNA. Because if you wanted your children to survive, you'd be better off, back in the barbarian days, with a slaughterer, not
Yeah.
a slaughteree.
Yeah.
Right? That's the guy you want.
There's
You
a
want the guy
level
that-
of unhealthy
Yeah.
alpha.
as long as he doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
You fuck him and he kills everybody else. Like,
And
yay.
they might even see romance in that. Like
Yeah.
he chooses to kill
Yeah.
everybody else, not me.
Vampires. That's the thing about vampires. Women, like the whole Twilight thing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he doesn't kill me.
Or-
He's like, he's out there sucking deers dry because he doesn't want to kill people anymore.
Do you believe in vampires?
Well, I think scientifically they believe that if vampires existed, there would be no more humans because it would just be a matter of time.
Of
They would
feeding?
just get us all and then turn us all into vampires. And then just the amount of people that would get turned into vampires, it would be an epidemic. You wouldn't be able to stop it. If they were superhuman in their powers and all that stuff, they would just overrun us.
I guess that's that.
They would just overrun us.
Unless they also would recognize that they would run out of a food supply.
Well, then what are they going to do to survive? Just to survive, they have to keep eating people. And they keep in either they kill the people or they turn the people into vampires. So it's like depending on which lore, you know, which lore are you going by? Are you going by the one where they kill all the people, or are you going by the one where they drain the blood of the ones they love and then they let them turn into vampires because it's romantic? But
I mean, people definitely do drink blood. It happens like those are real rituals that happen in Europe
yeah.
all the time.
It's real
So
satanic
dark.
blood ritual shit. Yeah, for sure. That's real. But then there's like, how much of it is just what people are scared of? They're scared of, a thing like that. Maybe it represents psychopaths to them. Because the original
Maybe.
Dracula was based on
Vlad the Impaler,
Vlad the
right?
Impaler, yeah. Vlad, I think Vlad Tepes was his name. And this was a guy who literally impaled people on stakes and sat down and ate his lunch in front of them.
Insanity. And there was a woman who did bathe in the blood of children.
That's a tricky one, too. That's Elizabeth Bathory. Yeah, clinical vampirism.
But but I don't think that was to do with vampirism. I think it was more. I think she just believed the blood kept her youthful, I suppose.
No, well, we'll get into that in a second. But look at this. Clinical vampirism, more commonly known as Renfield syndrome, is an obsession with drinking blood. The earliest presentation of clinical vampirism in psychiatric literature was a psychoanalytic interpretation of two cases contributed by Richard L. Vandenberg and John F. Kelly. The authors point out over 50,000 people addicted to drinking blood have appeared in the psychiatric literature from 1892 to 2010. 50,000 people. This was documented in the work of Austrian forensic psychiatrist Richard von Krafft-Ebing.
Nailed it.
Many medical publications concerning clinical vampirism can be found in the literature of forensic psychiatry, with the behavior being reported as an aspect of extraordinary violent crimes. Jesus. Yeah.
So it's a real psychological disorder.
Yeah.
At least 50,000 people in the past 150 years.
So the Elizabeth Bathory thing is an interesting one, because the story is that Elizabeth Bathory was this woman, and she was beautiful when she was younger, but as she started growing older, she started murdering young maidens and bathing in their blood, and that she was this evil, psychotic serial killer. And
that'd be a good movie.
That's a good story, but there's also a counter story to that what they were trying to do was accuse her of this so they could take her land, because she was in control of this very coveted kingdom, and they essentially put her in house arrest because she was a royal, even though she was a serial killer supposedly.
Yeah.
But there seems to be some possibility that there might be fuckery. See if you can find that. See if you can find that. I just read that recently because we talked about that on the podcast. Then somebody, I forget who it was, brought it up to me like that might not have been what actually
It's a troll
happened.
farm.
Her brutality has been questioned by historians. Here it is. Several historians have argued that far from being a cruel and barbaric killer, Bathory was in fact merely a victim of a conspiracy. The Hungarian professor, try that one, Laszlo Nagy claimed the accusations and proceedings against Bathory were politically motivated due to her extensive wealth and ownership of large lands in Hungary. It is possible that Bathory's wealth and power made her a perceived threat to the leaders of Hungary, whose political landscape was overrun with major rivalries at the time. Bathory appeared to have supported her nephew, Gabor Bathory, ruler of Transylvania and rival to Hungary. It was not uncommon to accuse a wealthy widow or witchcraft. I think they meant to say of murder, witchcraft, or sexual misconduct to seize their lands. Man. That makes sense.
That is crazy.
So the official story was that she was a serial killer, and that's she was doing that to try to stay young. But if you wanted to lock somebody up, like that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
So she's a fucking serial killer.
Highest number of victims was 650.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Bathory is the most prolific female murderer and the most prolific murderer of the Western world. This is despite the precise number of her victims remaining unknown and debated. Upon collecting testimony from 300 witnesses, Thurzo determined that Bathory had tortured and killed more than 600 victims. The highest number cited was 650. However, this number came from a claim by a servant girl that Bathory's court official had seen the figure in one of her private books. The book never came to light. Bathory's victims were said to have been hidden a variety of places, but the most common method was to have the body secretly buried in the church graveyards at night. So this was a servant girl that claimed that she saw a book that said that she had killed 600 people. That's,
So she would have wrote that down, I guess.
yeah, she's like writing down in their blood.
411.
Imagine being such a psycho that you've documented all the people that you killed and bathed in their blood.
Dexter.
Imagine how many people have done it.
He didn't bathe in the blood, but he kept a little sample of all of
Right.
them. Remember?
Imagine how many people have done it we don't know about.
I think they all keep like little
Something.
Oh,
trinkets.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Has there been a serial killer for a while?
There's a lot of them active right now in the country.
Really?
Yeah, there's always active serial killers.
How do you just never hear about it?
Some of them try it for a little while and they stop.
Try it for a little while.
Yeah, for
like
real.
it's tobacco.
But they could just try it for a while if they get away with it.
It's not anal, dog. Like, you can't dabble in murder.
There's a lot of broken people out there that I think right now probably dabble in murder.
That's terrifying.
It is terrifying, and it's probably in other parts of the world even more common.
But you know what? That's actually, it's a weird association I have with scary movies. Murderer scary movies never scare me because I know it happens in the world every day. Ghost, demon, monster stuff. That's what scares me.
Ghosts?
Because it's up to your imagination.
Demons, monsters. Yeah. Yeah, those are the scariest, I guess. Well, the scariest are aliens.
Because it's fear of the
Alien
unknown.
1 movie.
Oh my
Alien
God.
1 was like, that to me is the scariest scary movie ever.
That
movie was terrifying.
Is it Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind that takes place in Alaska? Where they combine the actual footage of the woman's real therapy sessions and stuff?
I don't know. I don't
Jamie,
think
you know
I
what
saw
I'm talking
that one.
about?
Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind?
It's third or fourth kind. Which one's the original movie?
Third kind.
So this one's fourth kind. I'm almost certain. Probably wrong.
I've never heard of it.
It's a really good movie. There's a woman up in I want to say Juneau, or no. What's the Nome, Alaska? And back in the day, she was she became famous because she claimed aliens were basically like showing up and abducting her and stuff, right? And eventually, her kid got abducted by aliens, or so that's the case, and they accused her of like killing the kid or whatever it may be. Like, obviously, nobody believes that this woman's son was abducted, or daughter was abducted by aliens.
So it's not
they made
currently
a movie.
available in our
Yeah, I
country?
think
What?
it's like in Canada. I think it's showing up weird.
You can only get it in Canada?
I don't know.
Go down to the what?
That's strange.
Interesting.
But they have it's a movie about this case, but they splice in real footage of her therapy sessions she was going to while she was being abducted each night, and they do this I don't really know how to describe it. This deep meditative state that makes you recall your dreams, and she's like describing all the things that were happening to her, these aliens, and she starts screaming. She starts like levitating up from the couch a little bit. Like it's creepy as shit. But it's a really good movie. It's my favorite abduction movie I've ever seen. And obviously nobody believes her. She runs into the one person. Oh yeah, like that old footage is like the real footage.
Wow. So here's my issue with the alien abduction thing. Other than there's not like any real solid evidence that you could point to that's very convincing. It always happens at night. Mm-hmm. And it always happens during the periods where people sleep. And when you're sleeping, I'm not saying always. Okay, I'm sure there's some stories out there. I'm sorry. But most of the stories I've ever heard are people in their bed, they can't move, aliens abduct them,
Paralysis.
or they're in a car, the car stops, they wake up, aliens abducted them. When you go to sleep and you dream, there are psychedelic chemicals that your brain makes, and we don't know how much they're making. We don't know what effect that's having on your dreams. We don't know what is going on. What is going on with dreams? What is going on with vivid dreams? What is going on with dreams that they're indiscernible from real life, and sometimes in a strange way. Like, what is that? Is that a psychedelic state your brain goes into every night?
Yeah.
And if chemicals vary in human beings, serotonin varies, dopamine varies, everything varies, testosterone varies, estrogen varies, it varies. Wouldn't you just assume those psychedelic chemicals would vary? And wouldn't you just assume that sometimes maybe even people are in very agitated, anxiety-ridden states, high cortisol levels, perhaps maybe those chemicals are coming out in an abundance too. Now,
So it
if
hits a
you're
spike in it,
lying
yeah.
in bed and you're having an insanely vivid and terrifying interaction with aliens every night, because your brain is just dumping psychedelics into you. And this is your big fear. So you're going to get abducted by aliens again. And then there they are again, leaning over your bed and they're reaching for you. And you're
Constant
like,
paranoia.
and then here's the mind fuck of all mind fucks. Maybe psychedelics are a gateway to some other reality, some other dimension that's accessible by these creatures.
I like this.
And that when you are getting abducted, you really are getting abducted. Like whatever your being is or your spirit or whatever is you is getting you're interacting with these things, and it feels real because it is real, and because we're thinking about the ability to come in contact with other life forms as being a physical thing. It might be that there's a chemical gateway in your mind that when breached, you enter into a dimension where physical bodies don't exist anymore and everything moves in this constant soup of geometric patterns. And that whatever your consciousness is, whatever your soul is decoupled from the body and thrown into this realm.
I imagine that's probably what happens at death.
It probably is what happens with death. It's probably what it's all. I mean, that's probably why people think about it that way. That you're going to transcend into heaven. You're going to go into this new place. It might be true. It might be like a lot of the old depictions of like what happens when you enter into a psychedelic state. I've heard this multiple times that it's like a well of souls. That you're interacting with souls that are like completely unattached to a physical presence.
Yeah.
And maybe you're getting layers and layers of that depending upon how fucked up you are while you're sleeping. And maybe some of those layers are, boom, aliens are in the room with you.
Peeled back.
Just aliens in the room with you. And maybe they can do that. Maybe they can visit you while you're in those states. Maybe that's what's happening too. I mean, we're just assuming, like, before anybody invented a cell phone camera, like if you tried to show that to someone from 1700, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
The idea of transforming or rather traveling through another dimension, even in a non-physical sense, even in like a hologram sense, and existing in a space that's completely different from the dimension that you exist in.
Yeah.
Like, that might be 1,000 years from now. Normal shit, like a cell phone picture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just above our understanding for now.
It could be. So it could be.
That makes total sense to me because it's like, what the fuck is Wi-Fi? You know what I mean? You can't see it. It's not a physical thing you can see.
Exactly. What the fuck is Wi-Fi?
Yeah, how?
Yeah. What's
What do you mean a
happening with
text
that?
goes from my phone to your phone? What the fuck
Yeah.
does that mean?
There's no wires. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so that makes total sense.
Not just a text, but a video. You could send a video to your friend that lives in China.
And it's the exact same
They
quality
might
as you
not be
saw
able
with
to
your
get
own
it.
eyes.
They might not be able to get
Yeah,
it.
maybe not China.
Okay, Japan.
If you made a TikTok.
Okay, yeah, you could send it to Japan. You could send it to Germany. You could send, if you have a friend in Germany,
Yeah.
you could send that person a video and they will get it. You send them an iMessage and they will get it and they'll open up that video and they'll watch it.
How?
Like through space.
A non-physical transfer.
It's wild. You watch sporting events on your phone.
Yeah, in
live
real
sporting
time.
events in real time. We live in the future.
Yeah.
We just don't live in the future where you can travel from one dimension to another.
Yeah.
And exist in this other dimension as long as this person is in a certain psychedelic state.
Yeah. It's totally believable.
Yeah.
And honestly, I hope there's some truth to that. There's a lot. It's scary to think about, but that gives a little bit of comfort to have just some kind of answer. I think the worst thing that would happen if you died is if you stay totally conscious. Imagine your body. You leave your body, right? You have
You
no
just
more
exist
control.
in the woods.
Yeah, you still have a consciousness,
Right.
but when people close your eyes, you're just in darkness for the rest of eternity. So, but okay, hear me out. Super high conversation. Now you're conscious in all black, right? But because you have power over your consciousness, you can create. So what do? You create some kind of reality. Now you're God and of your own consciousness, and you create beings within that.
You get so kooky that you make your own reality.
Yeah,
inside your
because
own
what
head.
else is there to do besides create something in your consciousness? You can't move. You have no life anymore.
It's just torture.
Yeah, that would be
You
the
exist,
most
but you
terrifying
can't
thing.
interact.
Yeah. Imagine what if God's
Nobody
that?
knows you're there.
What if God is exactly that?
I think God is the whole universe.
Has to be.
That's what I think. I think this idea that God made the universe, I think God is the universe. I think that makes more sense. That this
Yeah.
whole thing is just, whoa. The whole thing is just this
Infinite.
infinite creation machine that creates galaxies, solar systems, stars,
To everything to
planets,
microorganisms.
yeah, that it's all by this strange mathematical process that exists where everything gets more and more complex. Everything from the beginning to now. And then the humans and whatever is past humans, they're just constantly making things more complicated and more advanced. Even like, the way planets form, then life grows on them, and then that life figures out gunpowder.
Yeah,
like all that stuff is wild. It's wild because it seems to be like it all is moving in this very specific way. It's like even in evolution, animals don't make it. This is like your design sucks. We got a new design now. This one's better.
Yeah.
Like you guys ground nest. There's cats around here. This isn't gonna work out.
Up in the
You know?
trees.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to think that. Well, here's one of the weird ones, right? Like people don't ever want to believe in anything other than scientific facts, right? And when you're examining the universe, we base it on the information that we can currently get from the Webb telescope and from space, exploration and all the stuff that we've done. So we have this understanding of the universe, but it all relies on a miracle. It really does.
Yeah.
Because it relies on this fucking one moment where for some reason something smaller than the head of a pin became everything you see in the sky.
Yeah.
But
It's all based on odds.
But it's almost like to throw in your face. Like the more you figure out about everything, the more you figure out everything about the vastness of the universe, black holes and what is inside of them. Like what is there something in there? Is that a portal to another universe?
It has to be.
It might be.
I think that's the only thing it can be to me.
But the more you think about the complexity of all it and that it all emerged from this teeny tiny little what was before that teeny tiny little thing?
What was the teeny tiny
Yeah.
thing?
What
What was
was it?
that
What was it
form of
made
this
out of?
universe?
Exactly.
And where was it?
It's almost
If
like
it wasn't in space, if it itself is space, where the fuck was it?
it's almost like as intelligent as people get, as they get more and more advanced, more and more knowledge, they have to kind of always admit they don't know shit. Because there's no way you know what happened. You can't know. It doesn't make any sense. No one has ever come up with any fucking reasoning that makes any sense why this one thing would be smaller than the head of a pin and then become this infinite expansion that we see in front of us. Yeah, what happened? There's theories. There's some brilliant theories. There's theories that it's a never-ending process of constant expansion and compression, which is really terrifying.
It just it continues to expand.
What's really terrifying is that the whole universe is eventually going to go back to that fucking pin.
No, it's not. Why would that happen?
I don't know.
No,
What made it in the first place? We're too stupid to be talking about the universe.
I know.
But
Is it?
I mean, if that, I know that is a theory. There's also a theory that different universes collide with each other, and that they're like membranes and they collide with each other, and that could be what's creating big bangs.
That would make the most amount of sense for a reaction of that size.
Dude, it's all scary. It's so big. We just look at it like numbers. Oh, 13 trillion. And we had Brian Keating on, who was explaining that these people that are saying that the universe is not 13.7 billion, that it might be 26 billion. He said that's really based on the development of these galaxies that exist, and it's not definitive proof that the universe is that old. But even like 13 billion, what are you saying?
I know there's science behind it, but yeah, what? Also,
are you
how do you
saying?
fucking know, man? How do you calculate that?
How do you know? How can you know?
Geniuses.
It's amazing. It's amazing just to think of how much we do know and then how much we don't.
That's
It's so bananas.
Is it wildly unprofessional if I have to pee so bad right now?
No, we could wrap this bitch up too.
Okay, whatever.
This was a lot of fun, man.
Dude, this was so
I really
much
enjoyed
fun.
it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much
being
for
here.
having me on, man. Are you kidding me?
Give everybody your social media, where they can find you, website.
Everything is just Matt Rife, MattriFe website, mattrifeofficial.com. We're going to add some tour dates at the end of this year for top of next year. So everything's sold out right now.
Right into the
but
camera, like you're
Just
presenting.
doing a little plug. Just doing a little plug. So, yeah.
It was fun talking to you, my friend.
Likewise,
And,
man. This was a dream.
We'll have some fun tonight.
I would love that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.